Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review so we can continue to give you the ish that we talk. And now that is out the way, I will not act like I'm on AM fucking radio. What the fuck's the deal? All of you ugly motherfuckers. What's poppin'? I'm here with you. We here together. We gonna make this shit pop.
What is the deal? It seems like that intro was way faster than I thought it used to be, but it is what it is. How y'all doing on this Friday evening, y'all, man? I'm glad that y'all here with us. This is the Ish We Talk. You know who it is. I am Lily. I am the host of the show. I am the black toting, joint smoking bad MO that you see in front of you. I am with the phenomenal, the incomparable, the best of the best, the person that pushes the bells and the whistles, the person that gives us this information. Without her, it would not be no me. You interweb individuals would not know who this sexy old motherfucker would be if it was not for this person. So let's give a round of applause for the beautiful and amazing Lindsay, my cousin and my co-host.
Hello, how's it going? How's everything?
All right. And we got the pleasantries out the way, but I always want to give a big shout out to TikTok, and I always want to give a big shout out to Twitch. These are two great spots. If you do not know, you can find us on Twitch, and you can also find us on TikTok. That's nor here nor there. Lindsay, what's going on with you? How was your week? How was everything going on with you? What is the deal, my dog?
Everything's all right on my end. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I am trying to get through a hectic week, getting forward, getting myself acclimated to go into a real heavier week. At the real spot that makes sure that the lights are cut on, I have a double dose of training next week. So I am going to be working probably the equivalent of 17 hours not every day, 4 out of 5 days next week.
17 extra?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be working 17 hours a day.
Oh. Oh, so you're gonna be on the same type of time I'm on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that type of time. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
from one spot and put out fires to another spot to put out fires. And I'm gonna be doing that Monday through Thursday. So I just have to get acclimated with it. My household is not, they're not happy with the situation, but that's the reason why the lights are on. So
Yeah.
we gotta do what we gotta do, and we gonna make it happen.
Man, who you telling? Yeah, because the evening job, we're on mandatory overtime. So I gotta do at least 20 hours this pay period.
Mm, mm, mm.
So yeah, fun times.
Yeah, I had to do that a couple of months ago. And for 1 week, that 1 week, I accumulated 74 hours.
Mm.
I said, Jesus Christ. No wonder that weekend I slept.
Oh yeah.
I think I went to bed at 11 o'clock on Friday. I didn't wake up until 4 in the afternoon on Saturday.
I believe it. I definitely believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Godspeed. Ugh.
Adulting. Fuck that
Man.
shit.
Man. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Man. Boy.
So
If I had a
yeah.
time machine, I'd take it back to when my mama was in her 30s, and I would have just said, hey, whatever you need me to do, I would do it as long as I can stay here.
Right. Right. I don't want to grow up. I'm a
Man.
it. I mean that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it. So So yeah, you ready to get into these topics?
Let's get into these motherfucking topics. Blah blah blah.
All right. So where do we want to go first? Do we want to go to some fuck shit or some positive shit?
Shoot. Let's go positive. Both let's go positive first.
Okay. So yeah, Bow Wow did an interview with Cam Newton's Funky Friday show on YouTube. Um, and it was a very, very, very positive interview. Um, you can tell that Cam has been a fan. He was low key hating on him from the side as well, which I can see that, because at one point Bow Wow was like the bee's knees. He had all the women that everybody, had on their wall and dreamed of at one point in time, especially a young person. Um, which Cam was at the time because he's actually younger than Bow Wow. So,
Yeah. I mean, you got to think. Growing up in Atlanta and watching Mr. Columbus, Ohio take over. That's a real dagger.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he pretty much gave him his flowers in this interview, which is cool because I feel like over the past few years, we kind of forget the impact that Bow Wow had because his antics were so loud. And
Yeah.
that's the part that sucks. I mean, it's same thing with Soldier Boy, Um, but like Bow Wow was huge. Everybody liked him. He was this kid that made great music. And I was reading the comments, and this one comment was like, "I'm in my 60s, and Bow Wow had some hits that I was bumping back then." And so that was his impact. Like he had fans that were around his age all the way to grown adults. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying? And I thought, because it was so funny, because I remember being back then, being a kid back then. I think I was like 16 when he came out, and I remember being like, I know he's a kid, but I really like his music, and I'm buying his album, and that's just it. And that's all. Like, I'm a fan. Like, I can't stop singing "Bounce with Me," and that's just what it is. And that album, when I tell you, "Beware of Dog," was one of the hardest albums that came out that year. Mind you, that's the same year that Country Grammar came out. Both of them albums went hella hard that year.
You
So,
know, you didn't tell a lie because
mhm.
as a 42-year-old man, I will turn that shit up if I hear it's the beat to the old dove.
Right, right.
Let me go, girl. Nigga.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Tully is watching. She says, uh, "Hey, Ish Talkers, what's up, Lindsay and Lee?
What's the deal, Toy?
Hey, what's going on?" So yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, all you wanna do is bounce with me, grab up on it, hit the flow, bounce with me. Some clap, clap, others stomp, but around here we get it crunk when you bounce with me. Like that was the shit back then. Like couldn't tell nobody nothing. So Tully says, I went to the Millennium Tour and it was awesome. We went up for Bow Wow. Man,
You got to. I mean, Bow Wow is
I
one of those individuals where we not only watched him grow up, but when we got grown, y'all can say all that bullshit. Y'all can talk. Y'all can talk about all the faking and shit that he was doing, but nigga, keep it real.
mm-hmm.
Fresh as I is
Yep.
was every nigga's banger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't smoking like I'm
Yeah.
smoking. You ain't,
Eh,
nigga, you ain't
eh,
tough as I
eh.
is.
Yeah. Ain't
That
big,
was the
big
truth for
with
me.
me, scared to chip me on, you ain't questions I miss. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
and you know, maybe it's because and I'm gonna piss some of y'all off, but I'm gonna keep it 100. A lot of y'all didn't like Bow Wow because Bow Wow was cute. As a cute nigga, I understood exactly the shit that Bow Wow was on.
yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what Cam was saying. Because he had all the girls that he wanted, and he had money, and he was broke back then. So like,
Yeah.
he was being honest. He was like, I ain't like it. Till he says it was my childhood dream come true because I love me some Bow Wow. I know that's right.
It was just, I mean, just keeping it real. If I grew up in Atlanta, I probably would have a disdain for Bow Wow. I didn't grow up in Atlanta,
Yeah,
so I fucked with Bow Wow.
yeah,
And Bow Wow fucked with everybody. And Bow Wow literally did shit that other child stars only dream of doing. And then he is still relevant to this day. And
yeah.
whatever, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about him, but Bow Wow has literally made music that you can play until you can't play fucking music anymore.
Right. Like for real. Like for real. Like his stuff. Like if you go back and listen to Beware Dog, it aged very well. It aged very well. And then that song with him and with him and Snoop, Bow Wow Wow Yippee Yo Yippee Yay, where
Where
my
my
dogs
dogs
at?
at? Bark with me
Yeah,
now.
Bow Wow Wow Yippee Yo Yippee Yay. Yeah, that song got so damn hard. Um, but yeah, I think probably like a year or so ago, I listened to that album again, and I was just like, yeah, it was that album. Then it was the album with my baby on there. That one was good. I think it was Wanted. I think that was the name of it.
Mm.
Um, but that song I used to play on repeat. Girl, I understand you loyal to your man, and that's all right. Oh, baby. And I can chase the fact that you're fine and you stay crying every night. Oh, baby. Yeah, that was the song too.
Listen, I'm just one of them. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Thank you. I want to thank you. That song was really dope to me. Like that song to his fans,
Mm-hmm.
that was so hard to me. Another song that was so hard to me from Bow Wow was Hold You Down.
Oh, yeah. Let me hold you.
Dude,
Yeah.
only thing I wished is that he had some like on that song. He if he would have had a OG veteran, because that would have skyrocketed. That song would have forever kept paying him. That shit would have went diamond.
So, what OG veteran do you think should have been on Let Me Hold You?
Let Me Hold You Down. I to this day I always say, man, like if he would have had LL Cool J on that shit or equivalent of it, and
Ooh.
that song would have sold 10 million records. It would have paid him for the rest of his life.
Ooh. 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 And you know what? L got brought up in the interview too, because he was just like, I don't know nobody that has done the several things that he's done at such a young age outside of LL. But even when LL came out, he was like 16.
Yep.
So, and I start thinking, I was just like, you know what? He's right. He's right. It's kind of like he followed LL's blueprint.
He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all jokes aside, everybody can talk about how um, Bow Wow used to cap, and Bow Wow was always on some extra, and he wasn't really doing whatever he said he was doing. But you have to understand, at a young age, Bow Wow had did nothing but be around rich niggas.
Yeah.
So he had to do, and I love that as a 38-year-old man, he he didn't say that he didn't say what I would want him to say, but he worked around it, saying that when he watching his big brothers do shit, he wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah, when he was talking about the cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say this. Like I got the concept, but it was a bit cringe to like when they were doing the whole like group chat conversation and they were talking about the women and stuff. It was just like, ugh. That was a bit kind of cringe conversation. It didn't go too far, but it could have went extremely far.
It could have went extremely far, but I didn't get a cringe. That probably because I'm a man, and these are two
Mhm.
grown men talking. At the end of the day, a lot
Yeah.
of times people get caught up in that's a little Bow Wow, man. Wow, wow, wow. Not Bow Wow, grown ass man, been serving grown dick for a long time.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I get the concept of the segment because it's like you you talk different in a group chat than you would out in public. So I get it.
Hmm.
But the way that they were talking about Tyra Banks, it was just like this can go down a this can go down a road that I don't want to go down. It
But
didn't, but
I was about to say, shout out to Bow Wow for being very respectful.
yeah, at the end of the day, right.
Yeah. Shout out to Bow Wow for being very respectful. Also, shout out to Bow Wow because Bow Wow solidified that these niggas just be sharing pussy. Because because I know who Kim is talking about when he said about the Corinne Stephens shit.
Who's he talking about? Because I don't know.
You gotta watch it.
Dude, just tell me.
Um,
Cause I don't want. I'm not a big fan of his interviewing skills.
he's getting better.
Yeah.
But
For me, he talked too much about himself. But then in the same breath I kind of got it because it was more of like a conversation and not an interview.
exactly,
So
it's a
but
conversation piece.
yeah. But for somebody that didn't come here to hear about him, I was over it. So I'm like, can we stick the bow?
I actually like Funky Fridays. Shout out to Funky Fridays.
You know.
Because I do like Funky Fridays, just because it is one of those things where, hate Cam all you want. He is an iconic figure in sports, and now he is making himself a real good figure in media. Um,
Hmm.
it's a couple of things he needs to work on, and I'm pretty sure he knows that. But for the most part, he is really. I ain't saying he's knocking it out the park with every interview, but he is
Hmm.
giving you a real good, a real good experience. Um, just having conversations with people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that and I respect that. And shout out to Cam. You know what I'm saying? Not taking anything away from him. It's just a interviewing style that I don't particularly like. And that's all me. That's not him. So
Because
because
guess
some people
what?
absolutely love that.
Because I'm telling you, if when we start interviewing people, um, dude, you think I tell stories now, and I'm gonna be telling stories.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's gonna
Right.
be some motherfuckers bad. It's gonna be some niggas getting on the internet talking about I'm the motherfucker he was saying.
Right.
And
Like
that nigga, no, nigga, I don't know shit. That's why I said it out loud.
right, right, right. But yeah. Yeah. But shout out to Cam for getting the interview and shout out to Bow for doing the interview in the middle of the Millennial Tour. Uh, they out of all these years they have not come to Kansas City. You know,
Yeah, we're gonna have to get them down
yeah,
here. We're gonna have to get
yeah.
them down here because I've never been to a millennial tour. I would never say or a screen tour. But
And see, I've been to the Scream Tour,
what I
and
will
it's so
say
funny.
is,
It's so
yeah,
funny that he talked about Sierra because the Scream Tour that I did go to, she was co headlining with Ti.
yeah. See, I've never been, but I can guarantee you, I would have an amazing time because I went from a child to a grown man, and know what I'm saying in the span of 2000 to now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have a blast there. I think people don't really understand how iconic um early 2000 music was.
Yes. Yeah,
On the
absolutely.
from every level, from the OGs all the way to um the up and comers and the child stars with Bow Wow. Like these guys, they were not making gimmick music. They were making
Right.
music to literally be stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know,
They was knocking
um,
shit out the park. You
they
can't
really
name
was.
motherfuckers can talk that shit, but I'm totally team back when I say this. You can't name a different decade from 2000 and 2000 to 2000 and 2010 that didn't generate motherfuckers who can still generate money for themselves. You got a handful from here and there and here and there. Those child stars or those entertainers that came out from then, they're still maintaining 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
Even the ones that you think you don't hear about, the reason why you don't think the reason why you don't hear about them like that is because they're rich enough not to put they names out here like that. It's a
Yeah.
couple of niggas that's broke. Don't get me wrong. It's a couple of
Mhm.
niggas that fell off, but the majority of the motherfuckers are still fucking relevant.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Um, and I've been seeing, clips and stuff of this year's millennial tour, and everybody looks good, everybody sound good. Like it's a thing. And then Ray J is on this year's tour, and Bow Wow said this is his first tour.
Yep, very first to it.
And that's wild. He's been putting out music since the '90s, and this is his first tour.
Yeah, I understand with nobody really fucking with Ray J like that. With nobody fucking with Ray J like that, so Ray J really had to become a mogul.
Yeah, I mean they fuck with him they fuck with him to a certain extent, and then they really fuck with him when One Wish came out. But you would have thought he would at least went on a promo tour or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But
no.
no,
You
that's
got to
why.
think. Ray J, we just now start saying Ray J. You got to think back in the day, even with One Wish,
Yeah,
that was Brandy's brother.
that's y'all. I've always said Ray J because I was in love with Ray J ever since the Sinbad show. I was in love with Willie Norwood Jr.
Now, Ray J has been phenomenal in every genre he have touched. I will honest to God say that.
Mhm.
Business ventures, acting, music, he give you something. Business genres, nigga, come on. Like, get the fuck out of here. This nigga's making millions on business.
Straight
Acting,
up.
acting, great, great at comedic acting on those sitcoms. So he's been great in every level, but it's always those things where if if you have a hot person that says one thing about you, it might stick. And when Lil Kim said, "Wait a minute, ain't that Brandy's brother?" Everybody was like, "That's just Brandy's brother.
Yeah, but she was saying that because we was already like, that's Brady's
That's
brother.
Brandy's brother," because that's what the industry was saying.
Right, right,
I
right.
remember when he did was it what talk show was it? I forgot what talk show it was, but he was performing and he turned around and was like, I rap too. Like, and they was like, move on. I was like, damn,
Mhm.
they just really be shutting this little nigga down.
Right, they really did. Like he did not get no respect. He was Rodney Dangerfield to the bullshit.
And
Yeah.
now he is who he is, which
Right.
has nothing to do with Bow Wow's interview.
No, no, it's
But
not.
Bow Wow bringing it back to Shad.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that I do understand is what he was saying about the different levels of it. So that made me understand why he cap a lot. Just because, like he said, Shad is the, quiet into itself individual, and then Bow Wow is that
Hmm.
industry, I know what I'm saying, handling the business, doing that, and then with that, I realized that sometimes Bow Wow fucks Shot up. He didn't say that, but I know that's what he be thinking. Like sometimes Bow Wow gets Shot in trouble because Shot sometimes just want to be in the house.
Yeah.
But Bow Wow done said some shit. Now I got to be on some extra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. They are really two different people, you know.
Yeah, and I
And
believe I truly
yeah,
believe that.
yeah. And I can see Bow Wow being a shield, excuse me, or a defense mechanism for a shot, you know.
Yeah,
But that's wild. But I mean it makes sense, but it was also wild to hear that only like his auntie called him Shad, everybody else called him, including his mama, called him Bow Wow.
yeah.
But he's been Bow Wow since what, 5? So
Since
it
5
makes
years
sense.
old,
Yeah.
and it's a level to that. You got to think Bow Wow has always been the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know Shad. To
Yeah.
this, as a 38-year-old man, I can honestly say probably only his kids know who Shad really is. That's daddy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? The one that thinks rational, that wants you to do something better, that provides opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Only his kids probably know that. Everybody else just knows Bow Wow.
Yeah.
And Bow Wow don't give a fuck about mistakes.
Right.
Bow Wow like, all right, that was fucked up, but what we doing right now?
Right. Right. Now, one thing that did come up was uh he almost did Big Mama's house. What do you think about that?
I really think, because at that time, if you think about it, on the acting tip, Bow Wow was really, he was really focused on that, and
Hmm.
I think he did the best decision not doing Big Mama's house
I think so
because
too.
he already, as much as people like myself like Bow Wow, the majority of people look for something to hate on him, and if
Hmm.
he'd have put on a dress,
Oh, it would have been over.
he would have never been able to still be who he is now.
Yeah, it would
And
have
I'm
been over.
glad
I
that
think.
I'm
Yeah.
glad Ice Cube really
Yeah.
did give him that direction.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I think that was the best decision he could have made was calling Ice Cube.
Yep.
Because I mean, that's one hell of an opportunity to work with Martin Lawrence. But being that he is a rapper, and if he still want to be a rapper, that will forever live on the internet. So
Yeah.
if you were to get in, like, just imagine if he were to have done Big Mama's House, right? And he did that verses with Soldier Boy. You don't think Soldier Boy would have brought out big ass poster boards of
Look,
him in a dress?
and
Like,
you took it right out my mouth. Soldier Boy would have fucking ended his career.
right. Every
And
time that
Soldier
he,
Boy would have said, I'm the first nigga to end Bow Wow's career.
right. Every time that he played that song, because you know that what was the name of that song? He played 50 11 times. Every time he played that song, he would have had a different picture of him in a dress. So yeah. And on top of that, the whole Cat Williams of it all.
Hmm.
On top of that, it ain't like it catapulted Brandon T. Jackson's career either. And he's even spoken out, against it.
It destroyed Brandon T. Jackson because at the
Yeah.
time, because of what a lot of people don't know is Brandon T. Jackson was really actually trying to make music back then. I think he still makes music now,
Mm.
but he was trying to make music back then too as well.
Mm. Was he trying to rap?
I don't know what he was doing, but I
Okay.
know he always talks about how he's been trying to make music, and I think that was a hindrance for him.
Mm-hmm.
And not only for him on that level, um, he stabbed himself twice. Brandon T. Jackson, he did Big Mama's House, and he also did Tropic Thunder, where he was a rapper, but he was gay. And it's no doubt, yeah. If you watch Tropic Thunder,
What version of Tropic Thunder did you watch?
okay, watch Tropic Thunder again because it's gonna
I
fuck you
thought
up.
people I thought people gave him slack because he was in the movie with Robert Downey Jr.'s character. And I thought people
One
gave him
thing,
slack, like
and it was another
how
thing that
can
he was
you?
in the
Yeah,
closet. Yeah, in
yeah,
Tropic Thunder, yeah, he was in the closet.
yeah. I missed that storyline.
Yeah, you got to watch it again.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to watch it again because you know I actually liked Brandon T. Jackson's character
I
because
did too. His
I thought
character was
yeah
good.
his character was good, yeah, and because I understood the point of his character because he was the one checking Robert Downey Jr.'s character. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but
Yeah, watch it
that
again.
has
So you'll
yeah
watch it again. So you'll be like, dude,
right.
I didn't
I
even keep that.
totally missed that. But you
A
know
lot of
what?
people missed it. You ain't the only one. A lot of people
Okay.
missed it because everybody was so enamored with Robert Downey Jr. getting away with blackface.
Hmm.
Again, I'm one of those people to say he did an amazing
He
job.
really did. He
He did
really
an
did.
amazing job in
You know what he
blackface.
reminded me of? It was like he sat down and watched The Rock and Be Cool and was like, "That's who I'm gonna do." Because I don't know why. Maybe it was the fro. I don't know, but that's who he reminded me of. But you know what? Bow Wow had nothing to do with Tropic Thunder, so yeah.
I like how we both put some brakes on it at certain
Right,
times.
right. But yeah, it was a great interview. If anybody has 2 hours, definitely um watch it. Tell he says yes, he played a gay rapper. I
Told you.
totally missed that.
Told you.
I totally missed that.
I
Yeah.
told you. So he stabbed himself in the foot twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just happened to be a part of um a core of young individuals um that were trying to peak in the middle of motherfuckers saying, nah, black niggas shouldn't wear a dress.
Hmm. Now let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite Bow Wow song?
I do.
What is it?
My favorite Bow Wow song is Hold You Down.
Okay.
And Thank You. So I have two.
Okay.
Now, what I will say is I listen to a lot of Bow Wow's Cash Money mixtapes,
Hmm.
and Bow Wow was hard on those tapes, but I didn't believe it.
Okay. Okay.
So it's probably somebody right now that'd be like, boy, that song he did with for such and such. Because when he was, I remember a lot of people I've seen in the comments, motherfuckers was like, Bow Wow was signed to Cash Money. I'm like, y'all don't remember that shit?
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely was signed. He definitely was signed. Um.
It's like I think what hindered him is
Mhm.
like when he was signed to because one good thing about Bow Wow is Bow Wow knows how to grow with the times. Uh,
Mhm.
but I really think what fucked Bow Wow up, and it's just my opinion, is don't sign to a record label that already have your nickname going through it. Because
Mhm.
once Bow started getting grown, he started calling himself Bow Weezy. You can't be Bow Weezy when the headliner of this motherfucker is Weezy.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work. That can't work. That's too much of a conflict of interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he would have fared better if he went to Atlantic.
Atlantic. You think so?
I'm just because Bow Weezy and Weezy are never
Mhm.
doing a track together.
Yeah. Did they?
Your guess is good as mine. Probably, but we
Yeah.
probably never hear it
Yeah,
because he was
I
signed to
don't
Cash
remember.
Money.
Yeah. I don't remember them being on the track together. Um, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember that.
But you're
So,
not gonna get that.
mm-hmm,
You're not gonna get that. I can 100%, and I don't know any business tactic that Slim does.
mm-hmm,
But I would have guaranteed you Slim would have been like, man, Lil Wayne way too gangster to do a song with Bow Weezy trying to be gangster.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially back then.
Mm-hmm.
Especially back then, because he was like ruling the 2000s as
Yeah,
far as
because
rap was concerned.
when he
Yeah,
got signed to Cash Money, um, Wayne was on the Carter.
yeah,
Wayne was a different beast.
right. Which Carter was he on when he got signed?
Ooh, I have to look it up because I don't. I remember when he was signed, but I don't know the year. But I have to look it up.
Yeah,
But I know he was on the Carter because it was
yeah.
right after 500 Degrees.
Okay. Yeah, let me see. Hold please. Was was it New Jack City?
It
Seemed
might have
like
been
it
New Jack City.
seemed like it was New Jack City. And that was '09. So let's see. The Price of Fame. No, that came out in '06. So it wasn't that. Yeah, I think it may have been New Jack City. So, I don't know. So like, if that was '09, so that means that was after the Carter 3.
Yeah, they wouldn't have did
You
that.
know.
Come on, man. The
So
Carter
yeah,
three.
that now that I think about it, yeah, it was '09 because that was around the time that Wayne started focusing on Young Money. So yeah, Cash Money had Bow Wow at the time. Now that I think about it, yeah. Yeah. So Tohy says, I didn't think about that movie because unlike Big Mama's House, it was covert.
Tropic Thunder was covert.
Yeah, that's what I believe she's talking about. And then she also says my favorite is Bounce With Me, Puppy Love, and Shorty Like Mine.
Shorty Like Mine had slapped. Shorty Like
Yeah.
Mine was the deal.
Yeah. Um, let me look. I know like you, the one with Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one and My Baby. Yeah. And then let's see. Ghetto Girls. Ghetto Girls. That was a good one. Um, let's see. You already know. Wonder how that. I think I remember you already know. No, but yeah, yeah. So I would say Ghetto Girls, and then Bow Wow. That's the song with Snoop, and then Like You, and My Baby. Oh, and then do you remember the Don the Dutch?
Yeah.
That one was hard. That was a Neptune's beat. They call me
Yeah,
Bow
I remember
Wow,
that.
the
I
Don the
wasn't really a
Dutch.
fan of
Yeah.
that though.
That beat went hard. Bow Wow, the Don the Dutch. Yeah. Yeah, that one was a good one. All right. So yeah, so that's Bow Wow. So the other interview that we watched was Will Smith's interview with Drink Champs.
Yes.
Um, this was a pretty good interview too as well. Will Smith has been going around because he has a album that he's promoting or whatever. So he's been going around to the new media markets, if you will. You know, he's going to streaming, he's going to podcasting and whatnot. So he went to Drink Champs. They traveled to Philly, excuse me, because they normally film in Miami, but they
Mm-hmm.
traveled to Philly to do this, excuse me, to do this interview. And it was a really good interview. It was a really good interview.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. They told me something that I didn't know. And that was that I Am Legend has an alternate ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I pulled it up. And there's this video that's on YouTube that has both endings in the same video. So I watched both of them. And the more impactful one is the one they use for the theatrical release. Yeah, like it was because of what I Am Legend is, it's such a build up to the end that the original ending, which is, well, the alternate ending is technically the original ending. And to have such a build up for this movie to end the way that they originally wanted it to end and how it actually ends in the book, I probably would have been one of those people like, up. So it's probably a great thing that they tested that movie and found out that that ending was trash so that they could redo it. So, what do
I
you think
mean,
about
yeah,
that?
if you think about it, especially Will at that time being
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Box Office, Will can't have a trash movie.
Mm-mm.
Now, fast forward as we go on, yes, Will has come to have movies that have flopped. But at that point,
Yeah,
nah.
not at that point. Not at that point. Um, and I want to say that came out in like '09. So, yeah, yeah, I'm so happy that they reshot that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that was good. One
yeah,
thing I will say about this interview that I really do, I'm talking about, I was hoping that they did, and they did, which is chef's kiss to me, is they did not try to keep bringing up his relationship with Jada, um, because people got to realize at one point when Will does an interview, Will needs to talk about Will.
and there's so much with Will that he doesn't need to talk about Jada at all.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. It's so many caveats to what this man is.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that keeps dwelling on his relationship is really doing is really downplaying the excellence that Will Smith is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and respect to Will Smith, because as much as I done said some shit, and I'm gonna say, you know me, I'm gonna say some shit all day. Everybody knows how I feel about Jada Pinkett Smith. So I don't even have to. I'm not even gonna do that. But what I
We're
will
not
say
going down
is,
that road.
yeah, we ain't, because you know me.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, and it's not that Will has told me to keep his wife's name out my mouth, because if I have to, I will. Pun intended. But what I will say is, um, the contributions that Will has put into entertainment alone
Mhm.
makes an interview amazing. And this
Yeah.
interview is amazing. Not only was this interview good for me, the fact that Will Smith, as much as everybody wants to call him corny and wants to call him a certain type of individual, you can call him a simp, you can call him whatever. The fact that Will has been in the game for so long and still has love in his city is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like He good. He good in the hood. You know what I mean? And this was like on the heels of him getting that street named after him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big accomplishment. Like everybody can't get a street named after him, you
Dude.
know. So
And I've
he
talked about Philly before on this show.
mhm.
I really like Philly.
Yeah, yeah, because you've been. I've never
Yeah,
been to Philly.
I really like Philly. I've talked about it on the show. I think Philly is one of those spots where it is a lot of concrete roses because you're in the trifecta of a lot of things. You're right. You're close to Delaware. You're close to New York. You're close to Jersey. It is so much that you are that gets brought into to Philly that people don't understand. I think Philly is an amazing place, and I for a person like Will Smith to be from Philly, I can understand every route that he talks about going through because it ain't all about just being gangster. You know, it
Hmm.
because it's so much stuff that comes into Philly.
Hmm.
You can be a gangster nigga off the flip. Don't get me wrong, because Philly ain't for the fuck shit. But you could be as tough as you want to be, but also be smart enough to be go to MIT, and that's real talk. The shit that you
Yeah,
see that goes on in Philly, it sometimes it'll blow your mind, dude. You'll be so I me liking Philly and then seeing this interview, I understood completely how Will Smith thinks and acts
yeah, yeah.
because it's a
Um,
level of excellence that you need to have, and I know he
yeah,
got that from where he's from.
yeah. Do you think that he's the most famous person from Philly? Like in like the last 100 years?
Born from Philly, born and
Hmm.
raised, 100%,
Okay.
100%. Now you got icons from Philly, but
Hmm.
the most famous,
Yeah.
of course, yes, Will Smith,
You think he's more famous than Bill Cosby?
100%. You know why?
Why?
Because Will did what Bill Cosby did in reverse.
What you mean?
Will Will came from sitcoms and start making powerhouse movies, where Bill started in movies and ended in a sitcom.
Okay. But which one? So you're putting movies on a higher pedestal.
Everybody puts movies on a higher pedestal
I don't know
because
about every.
if you think about it, to get a movie and to get a lead in a movie, um, means that you're getting paid what someone would get in a season. You're getting paid probably 10 times more, or back end money for one thing. Like this might have took you 6 7 months, where on the other end, for a sitcom actor, you might get what that man's making in a movie in 5 years.
But with a sitcom, you're gonna continue to get paid. Like you're gonna continue. Like if the sitcom hits and you get to that point where it's in syndication and whatnot, you're gonna continue to get paid.
That's only a good thing if you don't cash out off the flip. Will Smith is a $20 million movie man.
But yeah, sure, he is a $20 million movie man. However, what movie does he have that's bigger than the Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
He doesn't need to have a movie that's bigger than the Fresh Prince of Bel
So
Air.
you're just looking at it. You're just looking at it from strictly money
I'm
standpoint.
I'm I'm strictly putting it on a financial level.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't do that.
You
You can't
can.
look at. Mm-mm. No, you got to look at the impact as well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Well, if we're doing that, you can go off the impact of it. If we go off the impact of it, nobody's the greatest TV dad when it comes to Bill Cosby. What
Hmm.
I'm talking about the most famous person out of Philly.
Yeah, the most famous person out of Philly within the last 100 years.
Yeah, I'm talking about the most famous person out of Philly in the last 100 years is Will fucking Smith.
Okay. I'm not arguing that point, but you were just looking at it from strictly
I'm
finances.
looking on the financial side, of course.
Well, we're looking at just finances, then I'm sure he's not the most richest person out of Philly.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm
But that's
saying
what
he's
I'm
the
saying.
most
You
famous
can't just look
because
at
movies hit harder than sitcoms. People, you could talk that this sitcom did this and this sitcom did this and this was an iconic sitcom and you can live through syndication and won't. Yeah, that's cool. But
yeah, that's cool and all.
movies, niggas is making movies. It's a big difference when you can ask anybody, any actor right now, would
Hmm.
they rather be a career actor or have movies that always hit? And they're gonna always
And
say,
actor,
I want big time movies.
no, they're not. No, they're
Man,
not.
get the fuck out of here.
And think
Ain't
about
nobody
this.
gonna tell you right now, Lindsay, yeah,
No, no, no,
I
no.
wanna
Listen.
keep doing this sitcom to the end of my days.
No, no, no. Listen. When we talk about actors, actors are, pretty much freelance. They get paid off of the project that they do. Actors, a lot of them don't have the money that we think they do.
That is
So, if
true.
we're looking at it from a strictly financial standpoint, any actor will tell you they want to hit that TV lick. They want to hit that TV lick, especially if the TV show takes off. Then that's constant money that they are consistently getting for X amount of years, whether it be strictly from while the show is airing, first run, or syndication. Both of those is consistent money coming in. A movie, you're going to get paid that one time and then you got to move on to the next project. You got to move on to the next project. But with the moving on to the next projects, now you got to keep on auditioning. Now you got to see if you're going to get it or not. It's not guaranteed like a show that hit. You see what I'm saying? So if we're talking about strictly money, any actor will tell you they would want to hit that TV lick.
And again, I will because I'll stop you right there and I'll say we're saying any actor. I'm talking about Mr. Summer. I'm talking about
But
Mr.
before he
July.
was
I'm
Mr.
talking about
Before he was Mr. July 4th, that's what you meant to say, Mr.
yeah,
July 4th.
Mr.
Yeah,
July 4th.
before he was Mr. July 4th, he was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And if you talk to a kid now, what do they know Will Smith from? They more than likely are going to tell you they know him from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because of what? Syndication. This show next year would have aired its last episode 30 years ago. Put that into perspective. Next
100%.
year would have aired its last episode 30 years ago.
I
If
will
you talk to
100%
a
agree.
high schooler right now, they know Will Smith from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, they may know him from Men in Black. They may know him from Independence Day, depending on how well they were raised. But what they most definitely know him from is from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I will give you that, and I will raise you this.
Mm-hmm.
Being someone who is a sought after blockbuster, you not only get front end money, you get back end money.
You have to negotiate that, and you have to get to a certain
Hold
level
on, hold
to
on, hold
get
on,
that.
hold on. Because we're talking how we started this. We're talking
Mhm.
about the most famous motherfucker from Philly.
Yeah.
So, in order to be who Will is, all those back end deals are taken care of. So not only is he getting millions up front, he's getting millions in residuals. He is forever doing that. I'm not saying any actor. I'm talking about Mr. July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. July 4th, if you ask him, he's going to say Fresh Prince, iconic. Forever, one of those amazing sitcoms. Glad I was a part of it. But I'm also going to say, with my production company and everything that I do, I am going to be looking for fucking movies.
That's probably what he's looking for now. Absolutely. Because he can look for that now in 2025. What I'm talking about when I say most famous, again, I'm going back to we're not just looking at money. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at the impact. We're looking at the culture significance. He is still significant to this day for multiple reasons, but one of them being Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So
Like we had
you telling me that's the number one reason?
the number one reason why he's the most famous person from Philly?
Yeah, you telling me that?
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
so what I will tell you is you giving Will Smith a bad farce because off the flip,
How?
at the end of the day, you have to realize that Will Smith has been in so many movies
Yeah.
for 20 plus years.
Yep.
Most individuals who don't watch TV like that watch syndication know Will Smith as their movie star.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen every single Will Smith movie? Every single one. Every single one that he's
Have I
acted
seen?
and produced in and produced. That he acted in and produced. Have you seen every single one?
I believe I have not.
You say you have or have not. You
No,
want
I believe I have not.
okay. Have you seen every single episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I believe I have.
I rest my case. Tohy says so he says, didn't know Bill was from Philly, so I'll say Will. He put Philly on the map because he repped it. I agree.
And then
What's his name? Bill didn't necessarily rep it on the Cosby Show, but he has rep Philly.
but at the same time, both of us
Mhm.
are skipping a major part in Will's career.
His rapping.
His rapping career.
Yeah, his rapping career got him the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. However,
Exactly.
yeah, I wasn't skipping it. I wasn't skipping it. Um, if we were to put in order what he's most famous for, I would say rapping is third. Because if you talk to a kid today, if you talk to a high schooler today, they will be like, he raps. Like, you've heard that. I know you've heard people say that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what
I've
I'm
heard it
saying?
all the
So,
time. But
yeah.
what we have to do is do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gonna be levels to this.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that agree with you. There's gonna be people that agree with me. And then there's gonna be people on the side that say this. Fuck both of y'all and understand that Will Smith was the first nigga that got a Grammy.
Yes, 100%. 100%. And you know, they talked about that in Dream Champs, which I mean, obviously we did know that prior to, but they did talk about that. Which I did want to talk about as well. So good segue. This is what I did not know because I knew the story about them getting the first Grammy and about them boycotting the Grammy and the reason why they boycotted the Grammy. However, I did not know that Kool Moe Dee crossed the picket line. What do you think about that?
I don't. So again, I'm not one of them running fetch it individuals, but I do know one thing, and that is everybody ain't gonna fight the fight that you fight. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like I would have had a problem back then, of course. As we got older, I would have got over that shit real quick. Because, you know, some people can't align themselves to certain things.
Yeah.
And other people can align themselves to certain things because they're pigeonholed to a label. And if this label is saying, "Hey, this is what you got to do," or "This is not happening," and "This is not happening," I can see people having to do these things. You know, we got to understand, especially back in the day, it wasn't like how rappers are now are. It's a nigga that can go on YouTube and in a year's time can be a multimillionaire and never have a label. Back then, for you to even have a middle class life, you had to sell a gold record.
Yeah. Right.
So if a motherfucker
Right.
said, "I'm not pushing your record out unless you do the Grammys," I'm gonna fucking do the Grammys
Yeah.
because this is my livelihood. Cool Mo D can't go back to the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could have. Don't get it twisted, because Cool Mo D originally was a street nigga, but it would look bad.
Yeah. And that ain't back then. That was something you was trying to get away from. Now these
Exactly.
motherfuckers run into it, but
These
that's a whole
niggas,
nother topic.
these niggas nowadays are different. They get famous and wanna and act like, you know what I'm saying, they need to go back to the streets. Them niggas was literally trying to leave that shit.
Right.
That nigga wasn't about to go back to selling fucking vials of fucking cocaine.
Right.
Fuck it. These niggas said, "Hey man, I'm gonna give you an extra 40 grand. You gotta do the Grammys." 40 grand back then?
That's a lot.
That's the equivalent of fucking $179,000 right now.
Right. Right.
That nigga would have jumped the gun. And I ain't mad at him for it. And Will ain't mad at him for that shit.
No, I mean, he can say that now. I'm sure they felt some type of way back then, but
yeah, you felt a certain way about that then. But at the same time, you got to understand, Will Smith, your backing was Quincy.
Right.
Kool Moe Dee didn't have Quincy as a backing.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got to go with whatever these people tell him to do.
Right. Right. And I get that. He says, both were impactful in different ways. I say truly there isn't a comparison because both were in different times and moved different barriers. I believe she's talking about like Bill Cosby versus Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean, again, Bill Cosby is gonna forever be America's dad. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Some of y'all dads are fucked up. So, nigga, Bill Cosby is gonna forever be America's dad. I didn't have a daddy growing up. And that's not no downplay to my dad. But my dad wasn't around. That don't mean that I'm gonna disrespect him at all. But the men that were in my life at that time were not the man that was supposed to be in my life if it wasn't for my uncles and all that. The men that were in my mother's life that were around me were not good figures. So yes, I will 100% say, yes, Bill Cosby was my TV dad. I wanted every bit of a dad like that.
Yeah. 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 I think he was everybody's TV dad. You could have been a grown ass person and that was your TV dad.
Yeah. So I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that from Bill at all.
Yeah, not to mention what he did prior to the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? So he broke a lot of barriers and whatnot. But they did not discuss Bill Cosby in this interview. So that was me that brought him up. So, but yeah, it was just a question. Since they were so heavy talking about Philly, I'm like, I had thought about that while I was watching it, and I was just like, wonder he could be the most famous. I think Patti LaBelle is from Philly too, if I'm not mistaken. But
No, it's
I would think she would be the third if we talking about top three.
Patti LaBelle could walk into a corner store and nobody would say shit.
Depends on what corner.
It don't. It don't. It don't. They gonna be like, "You got some money, old bitch?" Like, just just is what it is. Not downplaying Patty, but I'm just saying, and real talk. No, they got
Real
their
talk. No.
quintessential. They got their quintessential store. I forgot the name of it, but what I will say about Philly is fuck this store. Fuck anything in Philly because they don't sell liquor everywhere. You have to travel for this shit. So you know
Oh, they
me
got
as a
dry
liquor kind of
county.
store, I have a fucking problem with that. But what I will say is, nah, Patty will go somewhere and unless you know Patty, you're not gonna blink your eye. Most young people don't know Patty. I can guarantee you, we'll go anywhere. It's a different story.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's an argument to be made between Bill Cosby and Will Smith. But
If Bill goes anywhere, first of all, nowadays, if Bill goes anywhere in Philly, he better have security.
well, you know, he's gonna have a CNI person. Cause
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. But we digress. So yeah, I feel but same with the Bow Wow interview. I feel like they gave Will Smith his flowers.
100%.
Um yeah, and it was a very good interview. One thing that happens, that's why I don't really fool with Drink Champs too much no more. And I've said this on the show before as well. It's it's a good interview till it's not. And that's because of Nori getting drunk. That
Listen,
man
I
and I
get,
get it, but yeah.
I believe, I used to be like, man, nah, these are still good, but then I start really watching these interviews, and I agree. No downplay to Nori. Shout out to Drink
Right,
Champs. You guys
right.
are fucking amazing. But
Yeah.
now I understand why DJ EFN drinks beer in Mama Juana.
Cause somebody gotta be the adult.
Because somebody had to, I'm like, okay, yeah, because too much hard liquor, that nigga start forgetting what he fucking said to you 5 minutes ago.
Right, right. And that shit was funny when when Will was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, it's okay. He'll come around to it. It's okay. Like he was telling him. I mean, he was throwing his little shots out there. But I
Dude,
mean,
that shit was hilarious. Like,
yeah.
if I was paying attention to Will was like, and put that there, because you're not gonna have me on the level you is, nigga.
Right, right.
I'm gonna start doing that shit. If I ever go anywhere, because I got niggas that like to take shots too, I'm gonna start doing the shit that Will was doing. No, I'll get the smell of it, and I'm gonna put that bitch down.
Right. Like, oop,
Because I
nope,
ain't
I'm
about to be on
cool.
the level you on.
Right, right. I think the worst I've ever seen him was when he interviewed Crazy Bone. That
Yeah.
motherfucker was hammered. And then this is the thing that's so wild about that interview was that Crazy like drank damn near the whole bottle of Hennessy by itself. Then he was smoking on top of that. And he had a show that night. So, but he was gone too, you know.
But see, it's
But yeah,
Crazy is
Nori
still a
was
performer.
wasted.
It's one thing to do that and have to perform, and another
Yeah,
person that does it and they don't have to do anything anymore. That nigga's really slowed down.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy ain't slowed down yet,
No, Crazy is slowed down significantly because of his health scare.
but he can still do that. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
yeah.
this nigga do that shit, and then so what I think I know about Drink Champs is the reason why you get certain interviews that are mints and certain interviews you be like, is because he do what they do is they'll do like 3-4 interviews in a day and then they'll separate them. But you
Mm.
got to think that third interview, this nigga is fucking sloshed.
Yeah, yeah.
He fucking sloshed. This nigga, this nigga been going for 6 hours
Right,
drinking hard liquor.
right.
He sloshed. That's why when DJ EFN said like, nah, like no, we really take breaks. And this nigga got to take 3-4 days of not doing shit at all.
Yeah, right. He probably got a fast between filming days.
Yeah,
just so that he can be on that level. Because I mean, Drink. I mean, you're gonna have to change the name if he goes sober. You know what I mean? But I thought it was just me until that season he was on Love and Hip Hop Miami when he filmed and his wife had to go get him because he was so wasted. And I was just like, yeah, it's not me.
yeah, but yeah, it's been times he said that, like, do interviews. He's like, nah, like, I go through days where I don't drink. Like, I'll go through like 5 days where I can't drink at all. My wife won't let me drink.
Yeah.
And I believe that because, yeah, shit, if I got 4 interviews on Friday, nigga, you got to stop drinking on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you
Like,
got
that would be the only time where he can drink. Like, because I get it, it's part of the brand. But this is a dry house. Like, I wouldn't be able. I already got to deal with you wasted on this day. I'm not fucking with you
you can't fuck
wasted
with a
any
nigga
other day.
like that. And then off the top, listen, I'm gonna say this. That nigga can't be aging the way he ages if you think that nigga's drinking like that every fucking day.
True.
Because that nigga's aging beautifully.
True. I hate his haircut now, but
That shit is ridiculous.
yeah.
But that's just he just finally was like, I could grow my hair. Like, okay, we get it, nigga. Cut that shit back off.
Right. Okay, and we're done here. So
The last thing I need Noriega to do is come in that motherfucker with hair as long as mine. I'm gonna be like, nigga, that's never been you.
Ever. But yeah, so Tully says, when Nori gets drunk, he gets belligerent. Can't stand it when he gets too drunk. Yeah, that's what, like, because I used to really watch them, and I can't do it no more. Ooh. Yeah, I can't no more. So
yeah, it gets bad. It gets bad.
mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna lie. I used to hate you on that shit, and then I seen the interview that I seen that fucked me up was I watched the old interview with motherfucking Big Sean, and he was like, "Man, are you okay though? Like, I'm really concerned."
Right, right. Hold on. Can we get him some water, please?
Yeah.
Do we need a pause? Let's take a 5-minute break. So yeah, but it's a good interview. I really appreciate it. I was part of the population that was on Will's side from that whole situation with the Oscars and whatnot. So I'm team Will Smith, period.
Yeah, I'm never gonna agree with that.
Yeah. Right. So
Yeah, I'm never gonna, and I respect people for being on Will's side with that. But at the same time, I just never agree to that because one thing, man, is and I'm glad they didn't bring it up because that's one thing every man in there would have said, like, hold on, time out. You were the dominant male in this individual in this situation. You should have never let whatever emotions dictate you for making that action because first and foremost, let's keep it a bean in that situation. Talking Philly. Let's keep it a bean in this situation. That's not your bitch no more. She said it off the flip. She said y'all been separated.
Yeah.
That ain't your bitch.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It does matter because now you're gonna crash out. You're gonna crash out for somebody. Now, luck, it didn't work for Will. But I'm gonna tell you how it works for everybody else. You'll crash out for a bitch, and that bitch will lick that nigga's wounds the next day. So don't do that.
All right. So that's the Will Smith interview.
Mm-hmm. You know what rabbit hole I was going down? Yeah.
Yeah, we not even.
Hello, Jada.
Yeah. We're not gonna go there.
Hello,
So yeah.
Jada.
Yeah, so that was Will Smith on Drink Champs. So yeah. All right, so let's go on ahead and get into some more fuck shit.
Some more? It wouldn't. This was
Oh,
great.
oh yeah, yeah. This was good. Yeah, okay. So we did the good first, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so now we're getting into the fuck shit. My apologies, not some more, but now we're entering it. So, um, in Housewives news. No. All right, so this extreme short synopsis. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is back after like a year or two hiatus or whatnot. They filmed this last year. This information came out last year that this situation happened. However, we just saw the situation take place this past week. Situation that I'm referencing is that veteran housewife Kenya Moore, she opened up her new hair spa, Kenya Moore Hair Spa. And at the grand opening, she revealed that one of the newbies, her name is Brit Eady. Um, this girl has been having issues with her or been trying to create issues with her. And Kenya has been paying her dust. The week prior,
I like how you said that.
yeah. The week prior, they all were at a dinner and they were asked questions or no, they wrote out questions and then they pulled them out and the questions were written anonymously, but they were directed to certain people. So the question was directed to Kenya, can you speak nicely to Brit? Kenya said, yes, I can. I can speak to everyone nicely. Well, Britt was the one that pulled out the question, even though she didn't write it. And so she tried to make a moment out of the situation and was like, well, it's talking about me personally. Can you speak to me nicely? Kenya has been speaking to her nicely. But they've been clashing because Britt pretty much wanted to clash. She was taking things out of context, reading them wrong. Literally everybody on the cast said this, right? So they have this sort of back and forth. Kenya realizes, hey, she's trying to search for a moment. So she was like, you know what? You can have your moment. And then she also was like, peasants can't come for the queen. That ticked off Brit. Brit started saying stuff. And one of the things that she said was that she got whips and pistols. She said it more than once. So, of course, if you're bringing up whips and pistols about somebody that you just got into it with, that can be taken as a threat, right?
Oh, that's
So
a threat.
yeah, right, exactly. So, fast forward to the grand opening of the hair spa. Britt comes to the hair spa event and she gives her a bouquet of flowers and apologizes. Kenya pays her dust, doesn't even acknowledge her. But then she commands the attention of the room and she tells people about pretty much the transaction that she has been having with Britt and that um she did some research on her and she found out that she is an insurance fraud hoe and that she had some pornographic um pictures online. And not only did she find out this stuff, but she blew it up and put it on posters and showed the people at her event. So, a lot of people were disgusted at what took place, including the rest of the housewives. The network got involved. They suspended her and did an investigation. Um, Kenya didn't like the way that they handled the whole situation because they did nothing to Brit for her threats, but tried to come after her for her retaliation to said threats. So when the investigation was done, Kenya decided not to come back for the rest of the season. So, we lost Kenya after 5 episodes. This has been a big uproar, big debate online. Um, because like I said, when this stuff actually happened in real time, we were getting a lot of information from people that was there. We got pictures from people that was there. I actually saw the photo that was supposedly shown. They didn't show it on the show, obviously, but yeah. So, um, a lot of, and then like back then, we had heard that she had made these threats with guns, but then she came out and said she didn't, and also the network came out and said she didn't, only to show us she did. So it seems like because Kenya has said for years that she doesn't feel like she has been protected by the network, because people have came for her left and right, and she's been on the show for 12 years. They have come for her left and right on this show. um and she just never has been protected. She has been physically attacked on this show, and the person just got demoted, didn't get fired or anything like that. There has been far worse things that have happened on this show, i.e., season 9, when Portia and Phaedra pretty much accused Candy of sexual assault. So yeah, like I said, it's been far worse things than showing a picture of that's easily accessible online. But they tried to make it seem like it was revenge porn and whatnot, which it's not. If you actually look up the definition, it's not. And if you actually look up the laws in Georgia, it doesn't follow that law. But yeah, watching it play out, a lot of people have had their thoughts on it. Um, Pretty much saying she shouldn't have used that moment to big up her spa to downplay or to talk bad about somebody. She shouldn't have gave her that opportunity, you know. She should have just left it positive. Or if she was going to expose Brit, she shouldn't have went as far as showing the pictures. Um, Me, when I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Hey, call it what you want. I don't care. But if you're going to threaten me with a gun, you can't get mad at how I choose to retaliate. And that's the thing I've been saying for years. You cannot dictate somebody's reaction to your action. So you can't do something to somebody and then tell them how mad to get. All of the little sayings that you want to put on this, I put it on this. So, um, yeah, I don't care about Brit. I don't feel no ways tied. Cause she brought this on herself. That girl did not come for her. At all. She wanted to have a moment, she got a moment. Now, with you not being a person that necessarily watches Housewives, but you saw, the chatter online and saw the click or the clips of it and whatnot. What, as an outsider, if you will, what are your thoughts on this situation?
I mean, thank you for saying that, because off the flip, I like had to deep dive into to figuring out what was going on.
Mm.
But I'll say this off the flip. Shout out to Kenya Moore for being every part of me that people be looking at like is wrong. If I'm not giving you the sauce, at the same time, I'm not giving you an olive branch, but I'm not giving you the sauce. Don't keep coming at my neck, because the more and more you come in my neck, the more and more fuel you're giving me to when I do this. One, just me. You see me. I'm like a big teddy bear, and so I call myself Petty Ruxpin. Um, the more and more you keep coming at Petty Ruxpin, the more and more when I do say something, it is going to be to dig at you. Period.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand is, why are you coming to somebody who ended the shit? You need to go to the nigga that started it. Because again, I will always say, I've been saying this for the longest. Lindsay has always said, and I've always backed her up. Because at one point I was like, you got to understand. But then I was like, you know what? No, Lindsay is 100% right. You cannot expect what a nigga gonna do when you do some shit to him. Your shit might be here. My shit is always gonna be on this level. And the reason why my shit is always gonna be on this level is because this is the best thing you're gonna get from me instead of slapping the shit out of you.
Yep.
So what are we doing here? I think that it was I think it was wrong for them to like criticize her or say it's revenge porn on any type of level, where this bitch didn't pay nobody for this shit. She just looked it up.
Yeah. And that's the part that's killing me, because it's like, okay, we got to use the right terminology, because you can't put shit like that on somebody. That's not what this was.
So now one thing I will say is this. I don't like the petty bringing everybody into it. I did this to protect my daughter. I understand certain women do certain things and then they cry because they want sympathy. But Kenyon, you ain't got to do that. You, if I knew you, I'd be like, man, when you get out there, stand on that bitch neck and say what it is, because for me, that was the lightest thing you could have did. That bitch. I don't know if y'all know this. For my people that are watching this, I don't know if you know this, but when you threaten physical harm on an individual, you better hope they just pull up a dick pic. You better hope that.
You better. Right. Right.
Because
And
boy,
then this is the thing. This is the thing, because it's a mixed crowd that watches Housewives, especially Atlanta Housewives. So I see mixed crowds talking about this. So the white people are not taking this as severe, or taking it as seriously as the black people. And it's probably a cultural difference, because I feel like if you talk about it, you need to show it. If you show it, you better use it. So how about if you don't have it at all? Because now she's talking about she didn't have it in the first place. But if you don't have it at all, let's not say it in the first place. Because
dude,
if you tell me you got that shit on you, then we about to have a motherfucking shootout.
and that's
Because
what I
you're
was about
not
to
gonna
say,
get
my nigga.
me. Yeah.
I've been in situations where a nigga tucked to this shit, like, nigga, you don't know what I'll do. And I watched the nigga unload on that nigga right then and there. Cause
Yeah.
stop playing with me like that, dog. I want
Right.
to go home.
Exactly. At the end of the day, that's the goal, to go home. So don't talk to me about what you got if you ain't got it. Period, point blank. Because I'm not about to wait to see it. What I'm gonna wait to see it for? You already told me you got it. So now I gotta stand my ground. Now I gotta protect myself. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about your home. I'm going to my home.
Exactly. You couldn't tell. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. Growing up, when I was growing up, if a nigga threatened me with a pistol, my thing was, if I didn't have a pistol that day, I'm gonna let you have that. But after that, every day, I'm gonna have my pistol, because the day I see you, you're gonna have to prove to me that you're gonna use that motherfucker, because I'm gonna use mine. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not me being gangster or anything. That's just me being a man, and you're not gonna bitch me every time you see me.
Right. You're not gonna catch me slipping.
You ain't about to be on that. So if you play that game with me again, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker loose. And I'm telling you, when I
Mm-hmm.
knock this motherfucker loose, I'm going to hit you. It ain't. I don't give a fuck what no one saying, any nigga saying, I'm not trying to incriminate myself or call myself a gangster or none of that. But I can guarantee you, on my son's life, if if you ever threaten me with a pistol, and I have a pistol at the time, I'm going to shoot you, and I'm going to lay that motherfucker down and call the police because I was afraid.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? You got. At the end of the day, you got to go home. You know what I'm saying? And you're not. If I can stop it, you're not going to prevent
You're
me
not gonna
from
do
going
that. You're
home.
not gonna play me like that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that shit. You know how many times I've been in situations, not even being on no extra. I've been in situations where a motherfucker say something to me and I'll reach and my motherfucking people will be like, nah, bro. Like, cause I don't play those type. Nigga, I'm scary as fuck. Nigga, I'm not about to be on no extra shit with nobody. These motherfuckers be acting like, yeah, I'm a bona fide killer. No, I am not. But what I'm not about to let you do is shoot me because you got a problem with the fuck I just said.
Right. Right. And literally every housewife was like, Kenya didn't do anything to warrant this. So it was like, you're a fan and you came on here wanting to go head up with Kenya. That's what it gave. Or you wanted to be friends, and Kenya, she didn't necessarily like haze the newbies or nothing like that, but when they first met, it was like about three of them, and they were with Cynthia. Well, Kenya and Cynthia are like best friends, so she came and she embraced Cynthia, but she said hi to everyone else. And Brit was like, "Oh, so no hug? Bitch, I just met you. Everybody's not a hugger." So it's been from that point forward that Brit has always had an issue, and she's been going around. She's been talking to her family. She's been talking to the other housewives, and everybody is not seeing what she is seeing. Like she was fucking delusional. So it gave that she came on there because she wanted an issue. So you wanted a nigga here now. What's up?
And that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Is like, regardless of anything, the thing in a nutshell is this individual, excuse me, she came in there, wanting to smoke. She wanted every bit of smoke. She was looking for smoke.
Yeah.
Now you don't like the smoke.
Right.
I will just tell anybody off the flip. When you provoke somebody, you got to be on every level of what's going to happen when you provoke them. Because I've been on both ends of this party.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a nigga that provoked, and I've been a nigga that has been provoked. At the same time, I will say this. If you provoke me, please don't have nobody gas you up to think that I'm something I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same, if I provoke you, trust and believe that I believe that you ain't good as me, nigga. So when you play those type of games, you need to know how it's gonna end for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't expect it to be that. You were embarrassed and you were ashamed and you went to the company. But truth be told, why are you embarrassed if this shit is already out there? You didn't think that shit was gonna get unearthed?
That's what I'm saying.
Are you thinking of, come on, man?
Yeah.
I would not, if we got famous tomorrow, if a dick pic of me came out, you think I would be ashamed? You think if somebody was like, yeah, he's doing this. Yeah, I sure did. Like, nigga, what are you talking about?
I mean,
I got
it is what
videos
it
of me
is.
busting nuts too. What are we talking about?
I mean, it is what it is. Like,
What it is. And the shit don't die on the internet.
no.
I tell people all the time, man, you got to be ready for this shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to be ready for it. Listen, I'm the nigga that can do it. If you ain't know what I'm saying, if you embarrassed about some shit that you do, then don't do it.
Right. And that's the part that kills me about it, because it's like you're obviously a Kenya Moore fan. However, you don't know how this housewife shit operate, because the shit was gonna come out. You may not have thought it was gonna come out in the manner that it did, but it was gonna come out. Somebody was gonna expose your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like it was going to happen. Tohi says, I can't stand Kenya, and she took it too far. And worse, she took the light off of her event, which says a lot about her character. She can read for filth and what it should have stuck to that. She also says she also does good at playing the victim, so she could have did something like that, felt threatened, felt scared, filed a lawsuit, whatever. She didn't have to do what she did. Um, well, I do know one thing is that housewives can't sue housewives. That's in their contract.
Toy, I'll tell you this. If you say something derogatory towards my girl right now, and somebody sends me some shit and say, hey, you can just Google this about Toy. And instead of doing any physical harm to you, I can just post that. I'm going to post that.
It's
It is
going
what
down,
it is.
right?
It is what it is.
Right.
Now, if you take it to another level, then I have to take it to another level. But for you being disrespectful, I'm going to be disrespectful. And the thing about it, I'm like disrespectful because anybody could have looked it up.
Yeah. I feel like what people are not completely looking at is how this whole situation was handled by the network. Had they taken the threat that Brit did seriously, Kenya wouldn't have had to go as far as what she did on um on last week's episode. Had they taken the threat seriously, she could have at least been suspended, and that way Kenya wouldn't have had to retaliate because the network would have taken care of it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing that
you can't put physical harm on me.
yeah,
If you would have told anybody you got whips and you got guns and all that shit, like you don't play that shit, wah on some real petty ass shit. And again, I don't really know, like, so because I can't tell you the conversation. I don't really know. I was just going on the quick little synopsis that I did on it.
mm-hmm.
But what I will say is this: when you say shit like that to people, black, white, brown, whoever, whatever color, you have to understand that is two things that go to a person's mind. One, do I need a motherfucker to walk me to my car?
Yeah.
And two, is this motherfucker really gonna pop up and show out whenever? If a nigga tell me right now, boy, next time I see you, I'll shoot you. You know how I'm coming out the house?
With a gun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you pull up on me, oh nigga, it's gonna be. I'm talking about y'all thought 4th of July is loud,
Right.
my nigga. It's a whole different ball game because one thing is what everybody and their mama love to do is breathe.
Yeah. Right.
And what I'm gonna guarantee that I do is continue breathing. I'm never, ever, and I mean this to the death of me, I'm never ever going to be in a situation where I am not prepared. And I ain't saying I ain't gonna lose, but I'm gonna be prepared if that happens.
Yeah.
Because if you hit me, you better hit me good enough where I don't hit you. You can't say shit like that to certain people.
You can't. You can't. And then at the end of the day, yes, this is a reality show, but this is a job. So there's a HR, there's a code of conduct. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, like if you were to go to your job today and you start talking about whips and pistols with a coworker or in regards to a coworker, you think you're gonna have your job by the end of the week?
Nigga, you were case in point, a couple of years ago, we just seen that happen. We just seen a motherfucker at a warehouse do some shit over a bitch and knock a nigga off.
Yeah.
We just seen it. We just seen a motherfucker get threatened, and the motherfucker came out. pulled a pistol, came back, and shot the shit out this old nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing with people like that.
Yeah. 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 This girl was talking about whips, pistols, and her husband was there. And there was nobody to protect Kenya.
Extra shit, man. Come on, man. You better be glad
Mm.
Kenya Moore is Kenya. Because if Kenya Moore was Kenya Moore from 39th Street, you'd have got your shit shot up that night.
Right. Like, come on now. Come on now. And that's the part that kills me. The only thing that does suck is that it does take away from her business. Like maybe she should have ruined somebody else's event with this information, but not her own event. But like I said, as far as Brit is concerned, I don't feel no waist tired. That's what that bitch got. I don't
Again,
care.
now that I 100% agree. Sometimes people's petty
Hmm.
outweighs what they're trying to do for real.
Yeah. But then this is another thing. Again, going back to the network and their treatment of Kenya. The last season, she did a soft opening for her hair spa. They did not show it on the show. They filmed it, but they did not show it on the show. At the on the season finale, they show like what everybody's doing up to that certain point, like kind of giving them like little title cards and updates and stuff. And her title card was basically talking about how she did the soft opening. So they showed a picture from the soft opening, but they did not feature it on the show. Well, we all know that this is a huge platform, and you know the promotion will be ginormous, and this was her storyline. So it kind of seems like she felt like she had to do something ridiculously big to guarantee that it would have been shown. However, again, it does take away from her moment. And that's the part that sucks, that if that was a thought in her head, that she had to go to this extreme to get it shown.
At the same time, you got to say, we have to put in perspective of this. This is a show. Um, you are promoting a business. Um, we all know, as much as we hate it, as much as we try to be elevated people, um, bullshit pushes shit.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that might have been a best play. If
It's
she would have went
possible.
about it the other way, where she would have just been cordial, who knows what would have happened. But now everybody knows about her spot
Mm-hmm.
because of this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
black people ain't shit. I'll say that with the utmost respect. You gonna get a lot of business because some motherfuckers gonna be like, yeah, I didn't like that bitch anyway. So go ahead and hair massage me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, I'm supposed to go down there in July. So I kind of do want to go to the spa. So yeah. We'll see. We'll
I
see.
rest my case. At
Yeah.
that point, I
But
rest
I'm
my
a
case.
but I'm not even gonna hold you. I am a Kenya Moore fan. I've been a Kenya Moore fan since the '90s. So I would have wanted to patronize whether this happened or not. You know what I'm saying? Um yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. I'm going for a concert, so yeah. So it'd be nice to go get my hair done at Kenya Moore Hair Spa before the concert.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Now I don't think it's gonna stop anything about her hair spa. As far as um the Atlanta Housewives shit is concerned, um again, you just can't, like, you can't expect somebody's reaction to be equivalent to your action. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you were just
You
talking.
didn't leave people alone.
Yeah,
Just
you
leave
you
people
were
alone.
talking. She said, "All
Mm-hmm.
right, bitch, you be sucking dick though." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's basically what she. That's basically what it is. She was just like, "All
Right.
right, whatever, bitch. You got whips and shit and all this, wop 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 wop, and you be sucking dick for it. Here you go to proof. Here you go to proof. What we doing?
Right. Right. I wonder how
What
you
we
got the
doing?
whips and pistols, bitch. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I be sucking dick, but I don't be sucking dick for whips and pistols. Right. That's exactly what she did.
That's basically right. I be
Like,
sucking
you need
dick
to
for
elevate your game, bitch. I be sucking dick for houses and fucking and business ventures. You sucking dick for whips and pistols. We not the same.
We're not the same. You insurance fraud hoe.
This is what it is.
Right.
And
So
you got
yeah.
embarrassed. You got
You
embarrassed
taking pictures
because
with it and
a
shit.
little bit of that is the truth.
Right. You
Just
got a
let me
twinkle
find
in your
out you.
eye in the picture, bitch. Right.
Let me find out you done swallowed a nigga kid for a 22. You crazy as fuck. Because you doing the wrong thing. I swallowed a nigga kid for a business.
Right.
You swallowed a nigga kid so you can tell a motherfucker you I, you just suck a nigga up for being just to say, nigga, I got bullets with your name on it. That don't mean the same.
Nah.
It don't mean the same.
Nah. And what makes matters worse, you probably had to pay for the bullets. All you got was the pistol and a whip. What is this? 1872, bitch? Why you talking about whips? Who you whipping?
Come on. Don't dare.
Bye.
Let me find out, nigga. You gotta you done suck dick for a fucking 100-yard dash starter.
This bitch got a revolver.
Yeah. Let me find out, nigga. You done suck the dick to do this. Wow. Wow. Let me find out.
Right. Oh my god.
I ain't mad at King. I'm not a fan. I don't know any of these two ladies, but I will say, like, at this point, yeah, that's the type of time I'll be on too. Like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do because that's what she came to you with.
Right. Yep. So yeah, so that's that. So shout out to Kenya Moore. Shout out and nobody else.
Shout out to whoever this lady is that sucks dick for a gun and go, bow, click, 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 bow, click, 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 bow, click, click, click.
Right. She sucked dick for a BB gun.
She got $100,000 in the bank account right now. She just sucked dick for a $10,000 Toyota Corolla. But you were making bad decisions, bitch. You were making bad decisions.
Okay. Right. There was this so she's gonna be on Brit is gonna be on Watch What Happens Live here soon. And so what Andy Cohen does is that sometimes he goes on Twitter and he asks people for questions. So because people are people and me being me, I got on there and I was just like, so Brit, because like she had told this story about her dad passing away and they had to do a GoFundMe because he was like in between jobs when he passed away. So his life insurance policy was denied. Her mom was denied his life insurance policy. So they had to do a GoFundMe to bury him. So me being me, I was just like, did you really do a GoFundMe? Or were you sucking dick to bury your dad? Hey, I went there because I don't give a fuck.
I respect you more for sucking dick to bury your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect that. Then you, and again, ladies and gentlemen, I know how revolvers work. So the person like, that's not how revolvers work. I'm making a joke. But at the same time, I know how pistols starters work too. So please don't be sucking dick to do this. Bow, click. Bow, bow.
No, she was like,
yeah. Let's not suck dick for a musket. Let's not do that.
that book is antique. It's worth a lot of money.
You riding around with in a musket and with a Hyundai accent, and,
Right.
and you trying to go against the bitch that been on TV for 20 years.
Okay, you trying to go against Miss USA, girl? Fuck out of here.
Let's stop this. Let's stop this fucking right now. Let's stop.
Right, you trying to go up against Mrs. Bozak, girl? Bye.
This
But
bitch, Kenya been she didn't suck dick past fucking pistols in houses. She's fucking bitches for she's sucking dick for escrow.
right. She's fucking dick for generational wealth.
You and this motherfucker sucking dick for a switch? That shit is illegal, bitch.
She's looking for a silencer.
Fuck out of here. I got pistols and I got whips. She got a bunch of young niggas going to jail. Because her head game is okay. Kenya Moore head game just bought her a fucking spot. Like, we are not the same.
Far from it. Oh,
and I'm not a fan. I'm just keeping it real. Like, we can't compare ourselves.
Right.
You want to get on the side of me instead of disrespecting me.
Right. You want to be my friend, bitch. Like, what is we doing? But you came in here wanting to smoke.
Man, come on. I mean, case in point, nigga, I'm not eating pussy because I want bills paid. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing?
Right. Horrible.
I'm eating pussy because some shit about to be accomplished. Motherfucker come to me right now and be like, you want to do? I'm eating pussy because I got a building coming. Right. I'm not eating pussy because this bitch about to buy me a fucking scat pack. I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Right. I got goals, dreams, and aspirations.
You niggas is ass backwards, man. You niggas doing the wrong thing. Motherfucker be like, I won't never do that shit. Man, come on, boy. Motherfucker say, nigga, you eat this pussy, I give you building one. I'm gonna eat that pussy like it's breakfast. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah. So like I said, shout out to Miss Kenya Moore and nobody else.
Man.
Yeah. So yeah. To our other fuck shit news. Anthony Edwards. Excuse me. Anthony Edwards is a famous basketball player who got a lady pregnant, and he did not want the kid, and so he gave her some money to go get it taken care of. She decided to pocket the money and keep the kid.
Man.
Yeah, so the kid is here. Excuse me. It's a little girl. And they go to court for child support. He was ordered to pay I want to say $5,000 a month. And so he said, can I prepay it for 18 years? So he prepaid it, which was like over $1 million. And recently, like the last thing I saw in regards to this was that he also gave the mother full custody. Full custody. I I have been seeing a lot of people like he's gonna regret this, and that's bad karma, and that's really gonna mess up his daughter in the long run and stuff like that. And um, it's a, I mean, it's a sad, it's a
Just
sad
get it off
situation.
your chest, cuz. Just say it what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, it's a real sad situation. Because at the end of the day, there is a baby involved, and the baby is an innocent baby. But if somebody is adamant about not being a parent, there's, it's probably best that you don't force them, because unfortunately, there are some weirdos out here that will bring harm to a kid that they don't want. Um, However, if you don't want to have a kid, there are ways to prevent it. Like abstinence. Abstinence is 100% a way to prevent having a kid.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, realistically, no. Um, but I mean, what can you do? Like, because at the end of the day, it's just what it is. Like, you're the father. Um, you got hey, you got caught up and went half on a baby, and you paid for it. But like I said, if a person don't like, you don't, I would be scared shitless to force somebody to be a parent, knowing they good and damn well they don't want to, because I would be so paranoid that they're gonna do something to my baby. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Now, when I say this, my audience, understand that y'all are gonna have a problem with this. 100%. Y'all gonna have a problem with what I say. Um, the men are gonna have a problem with what I say because some of you men are soft ass motherfuckers. Um, and a lot of women are gonna have a problem with this because some of these women are single mothers that have to do it by themselves. And the other women that are gonna hate what I say is because they don't have children, and then the majority of women that hate what I say, they're gonna hate what I say because they are fucking scammers. City boys up, city boys the fuck up.
Damn, city boys, huh?
Check this out. Anthony Edwards is 23 years old. Anthony Edwards is a multi-millionaire. Anthony Edwards is at the age where he is going to stick his dick in wherever he wants to because he has the money to do it. To get rid of trauma and pain that a child would go through with the rigmarole of trying to haggle, he did the best thing smoking. To just pay child support up for the whole 18 years because he has the money to do it, I am completely fine with, because why would you put yourself in a situation where you have to bring or you would force a man to bring someone around um when he doesn't want them around? I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards is right. What I'm saying is, if you are doing this to be a mother, that was the best decision, because he doesn't want the child, and he already lost 100 grand from you faking an abortion. So he's already got a disdain for you. You're not gonna bother him every other week, every other birthday, you're not gonna do that. He already don't like you.
Yeah.
You're not about to do that. A lot of people think what he's doing is wrong, and I know a lot of women that have children with men that they're paying child support um that have a problem with what Anthony Edwards did. What I would say is y'all have to, every last person has to realize this. Like you said off the flip, this is an innocent child. So why put them through the stress of every day, all day? You go through a fact where every time this quote unquote daddy picks you up, he does it out of disdain because he has to, not because he wants to, because he has to, and he don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's bad right there. So for him to do that and say, hey, this is what they said, it'd take $1,000 a month to give her without me being involved. Just get it taken care of. And then let me wipe my hands with it. Y'all think he's wrong, but you don't know what type of parent he would be for her. So I think he did the best decision because he's
Yeah.
20 fucking 3 years old. 20 fucking 3, his mind ain't even developed yet. I'm not saying that in time he's not going to spend time with that little individual. At the same time, let him do what's the best for him and the best for the baby. Again, going back to, he already got scammed 400 from this bitch. So it's going to be, he's always going to have a disdain for her. So let's worry about the outcome of the baby. If $5,000 is what this baby needs to maintain herself, then let it be what it is. Now, years later, by the time he's 33, he's going to have a different mindset about things, and it might be a whole different ordeal. But what you will say about that is he did safeguard her for 10 years before he decided to even actually do something. And you should respect that instead of this nigga being a full out deadbeat. A full out deadbeat is not taking care of this motherfucker at all.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of motherfuckers is looking at Anthony Edwards like he is wrong. No, look at it what it is. This bitch scammed him.
Yeah.
It is. Everybody want to act like she's the victim. No, she scammed him. She said she wanted a certain amount of money to get an abortion, and she didn't get an abortion.
Yeah. Yeah. That in
This
fact
whole
is
downplay is wrong. Now,
yeah.
with that being said, is Anthony Edwards a good guy? No, I'm not gonna say he's a good guy, but he's young and he's full of cum and he's fucking stupid. But I will say this because a lot of people downplay this. When I was telling my dude the other day, he kind of looked at me like I was crazy. Said, and my thing is this: at least it was a grown woman. And when I say at least it was a grown woman, Carl Malone was knocking up babies, and none of y'all said nothing. Y'all called him the mailman for years. You let this nigga roll a big ass truck in the middle of a fucking arena, and nobody said shit at all.
Yep.
And that nigga wasn't paying them motherfuckers shit.
Yep.
So if y'all gonna give that nigga a pass, why y'all ain't gave this nigga a pass? First off, this nigga don't know what a daddy is. He's trying his best to be a daddy with the kids that he got that he wanted. And he don't have a daddy figure. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% right. I'm just saying that was the best decision for that baby.
Yeah.
That baby's taken care of, and he don't have to act like he want to be there.
Right.
Why y'all mad at that man? That man did a better decision than most of y'all motherfucking daddies.
Yeah.
Y'all watch y'all daddies argue and fight and fuss and say some shit that he didn't mean. Cause he loved your fucking toes down to your goddamn hair follicles. But at
Hmm.
one point, he literally was like, you and that kid get the fuck away from me. And you still love that nigga. Why you mad at this nigga for actually making sure that this motherfucker is taken care of and don't call me for shit again
Right.
until I want to?
Right.
Most of y'all didn't know y'all daddy until y'all was grown. Y'all daddy did the same thing and left y'all mama broke. But
Yeah.
nobody can't say nothing about y'all daddy. Y'all some weird motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I respect everything that nigga did. The reason why I respect everything he did is because one, he said he didn't want it. Two, he still takes care of her whenever you slice it.
Yeah.
Y'all want to call him a fuck boy? Nah, he a city boy for sure. And 100%, nigga, if I was in his shoes, I would have did the same fucking thing if the situation was in my shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, it's a the only victim is the baby. You know, because unfortunately she doesn't have her biological dad, but it's um
But the
it's
biological
probably
dad is
set.
making sure that you are taken care of.
Right, right. But it's probably the safest thing to not have her biological dad. Because, like I said,
Exactly.
it just on the strength that he does not want the baby, me and my paranoia would not take that risk. Like, you know what? You ain't gotta worry about this baby. Don't even trip. Cause I'm not about to risk it trying to force you to be a dad and you gonna turn around and do something to my baby.
Exactly. And see,
You
this is
know?
so that's the thing that I've been telling people. I'm like, what y'all really don't understand is how when anybody says they don't want shit, that's mama and father. When a motherfucker don't want it, how disrespectful they raise children. Why would you even put yourself in that? Why would you be a scammer and you scamming so much that you will put a fucking person that's nothing to with your scamming into this?
Hmm.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand because they're making it seem like Anthony Edwards is a demon when y'all really don't understand that the demon tried to put him in a trick bag for him
Yeah,
to be miserable and disrespect a child that has nothing to do with shit.
yeah, yeah. I think the only real thing where the girl fucked up was that she agreed to get an abortion and she took the money and she didn't get one. And as far as I know, she didn't give the money back. It'd be different if like, okay, I agree to get one and then I go and I change my mind and you know what, here go your money back because I can't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. It's another thing if you had zero intentions on getting one. You took this man money and you went on about your business and then you turn around, oh, I didn't get one. I had the baby and now you got to pay.
I can
Well, that puts
100%, I can 100% guarantee you, if it was a different scenario, we wouldn't even be talking about it right now because he would have got his 100 grand back.
yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, far as I know, she didn't give the money back. So it sounds like it was a scam from the jump. Now, as far as them going half on the baby, now that's both of their fault. So I'm not like if we're gonna start at the beginning, yeah, he did what he did to make a baby. But okay, the girl pregnant, we talked about it. You was supposed to take care of that. And for whatever reason or no reason at all, you chose not to. So you went back on your word, which is fine. You can do that. But you just can't force nobody to do something they don't want to do. And whether that was your intentions from the jump or not, it's I mean it's giving scammer.
It's a,
It's
it's complete. Listen, I've like $100,000 is fucking crazy. I've
Yeah,
watched
because
niggas.
I don't think they cost that much.
They don't. But $100,000 is fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know firsthand, but
But
I could have swore they don't cost that much. But
well,
hey,
I mean,
maybe he was paying her for her pain and suffering. I don't know. Shit.
The little tidbit of my life, I've paid for abortions. But what I'm saying is, in that scenario, I've also seen people, I've seen men pay for abortions and turn around. She say, "I don't want to get an abortion," and don't give the money back. And I've watched these same men not take care of those kids.
Yeah.
For way less. For way less. Because
yeah,
truth be told, depending on the range, you go from 500 to maybe I think the most I've seen somebody pay for an abortion was 1,200. And I knew that was a scam.
Yeah. But I've also seen folks. I've also seen folks get that shit covered under insurance. So yeah. So it can be less than that 500.
Yeah. So I also seen a situation where they paid 230. But there's nor here nor there. What I'm saying is, for me to give you this, for us to wipe our hands clean, and then you say, "Ha ha ha, joke's on you." I'm not doing that. That's a scam. And then you have to you gotta eat everything that happens after that.
Yeah.
You have to eat that. I've been in a scenario where I'll just keep it 100. I had an individual that said she needed $300 for an abortion. So I gave her that. And then I found out she told 3 other niggas that she needed $300 for an abortion.
So what she need 1,200 for?
Bitch didn't have a kid in the first fucking place.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what she ran a play. Like, what she need that 1,200 for? Was her car broke down? Like,
when you 17 and stupid, this is what you do. You like, hey, listen, I can't take care of no baby.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? But I've been in those situations, so I understand where he was coming from. Where like, boom, she wanted 100. He knew good and damn well it didn't cost that, but I'm gonna give you 100 to get you out my hair for the pain and suffering.
Yeah.
But then you like, ha ha, joke's on you. I'm gonna have the baby because you want to play this game, and she's played this game multiple times. I ain't gonna say multiple times, but she played this game before. So his problem is, you should have already knew what it was fucking with this bitch.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'll tell any man, young or old, you take that, stop taking that condom off and throwing it on the side because they be playing those games.
Yeah.
You need to, once you go to the bathroom, take that condom with you, flush that bitch down the toilet.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is. If you ain't flushing it down the toilet and you want to just throw it in the trash because it ain't gonna flush, because sometimes condoms don't flush, nigga, take that condom, throw it under the hot water, and let that motherfucker swell up, and then toss that bitch in the trash. Yeah. She gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
I tell people, because I've seen in my lifetime, I've seen niggas who have had street money that have got fucked over being on some bullshit with a bitch because you done busted a nut and fell asleep, and this bitch then took the whole condom off of you and stuffed that bitch in her vagina.
Yeah. And then they got those, I mean, for lack of a better term, turkey basters, things that you can buy that shit off of Amazon and get your own self pregnant. So yeah, definitely follow that condom for the whole life of the condom.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You gotta
And
follow
I'm
it.
gonna tell people off the flip, spermicide don't work. Um, when you are on and when you're in a level where she tries to stuff the whole condom in her, you know, women love to say, and not all women, but some women be like, "Nah, the condom got stuck in me." From my experience, some of these motherfuckers be stuffing that condom in them,
Mm.
and then they can't pull it back out.
Right, and then sex sent me to the ER.
Yeah, yeah, and then they got to call their best friend. You know,
No,
I got 10 sisters. You know what I mean? Sisters that I got that had to pull a condom out of bitch, and it wasn't because it got stuck in there from fucking. They couldn't pull that motherfucker back out. They wanted to get
wow.
this nigga because Rodney makes 60 grand a month selling dope.
Rodney. Oh, you got the car wash, Rodney.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep it a bean. Y'all be thinking I be lying. Listen, y'all better know my lineage. I'm a Hughes. I grew up in this city. Y'all better know the shit I know.
Yeah, so Tohi says, well, the joke is on her. Well, the joke is her on her because she tried to trap him and now she's stuck with a baby. Also, he won't regret it because he'll find someone who actually wants to have a baby. He wants to have a baby with.
He already got that.
Yeah. And
That's
then
the
she
whole thing
also
with that
says,
shit. That nigga, that nigga's girl ain't leaving.
yeah, right, because I heard he been out here doing a complete fool and she's still there.
Yeah, she ain't
So,
going nowhere.
yeah.
This nigga is not only an NBA star, he is an NBA multi-millionaire with plenty of endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going nowhere. She know the trick of the trade. Plus, he's 23.
Yeah,
This is
23.
one thing I be trying to tell people because a lot of people be trying to be on this whole, nah, I'm going to leave him, wah, 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 wah. You don't know what it is to be in your 20s, young 20s, to be involved with somebody who is super famous. Y'all don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. So I can't tell you that I'm going to give you a scenario on it. But I can guarantee you from experience of what I've experienced in my life, to be that young and have that much money and be that financially secure, motherfuckers ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers
Yeah.
ain't going nowhere. Man, come on. Your cousin right now that you know got 5 kids by a nigga, and that nigga got 5 kids somewhere else, and they all the same age. You know why she stayed fucking with him? Because financially she wasn't gonna find another nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
And
100% truth. Because what you gonna do? What you gonna strike yourself out here by yourself with all these kids?
mm-hmm.
When last time you checked, you was living good and you was driving good, and you know what I'm saying? Like your house ain't even in the hood no more. Yeah, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. I've watched niggas do this shit with a nigga that's making $70,000. You think a motherfucker ain't gonna stay with a nigga that's making multi-millions?
Right. Right.
Y'all gotta
Yeah.
stop with that bullshit.
It got to
Your
be something
grandma
bigger.
did it.
It got to be something bigger for them to leave. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Your grandmother did it. Your grandmother knew
Ugh.
them kids down the street was your daddy's.
Right. Right.
And she still stayed.
And she still stayed. Right. It's no coincidence that you going to school with some kids that look just like you and got the same last name.
That just is what it is. Case in point,
Yeah.
and I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna bring it. And it's no that because I always say no Missouri slander. But if you think about it, when you go into the hood, 90% of them niggas look like each other.
Mm-hmm.
90% of them niggas, and all them niggas, they shoot each other in the face. They act like they don't know each other. All
Right.
them niggas is related. Grandpop was fucking all of they grandma. All of them niggas is related. Every last one. When a nigga tell me he from St. Louis, I'll be like, yeah, I know. Y'all all look the fucking same.
Right. Right. So Tohi also says, I say it's her fault because she tried to play him and got played. You could have had the situation handled unless her intention was to say she had his baby.
Yeah, that was her thing. This ain't her first baby.
Yeah.
This ain't her
Yeah.
first baby. I'm not saying she got kids, but I'm saying this ain't her first rodeo. She been through this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
He's 23, she's 36.
I thought she was like 38.
Man, she might be.
I don't know.
But I'm saying,
But
like, this ain't her first rodeo. This bitch, and I get it. Um, Anthony Edwards is he's young and he's at the point in his life where he at like a bitch with a good smile and a seductive tongue is gonna get him every time. At 23, fuck yeah. I don't give a fuck if you swear to God you love your college sweetheart. Man, you getting your dick rubbed somewhere else because you're a multi-millionaire. It's really and I'm not downplaying any woman and I'm not saying all men cheat, but I'm saying it is very hard for a man of that stature to who has to physically work his body to be as at the peak of whatever it is to play whatever he plays or do whatever he does and make millions of dollars to not get his dick hard when a bitch blow a fucking kiss at him. It is what it is. I am a 42-year-old man. You know what? I'm gonna keep it 100 because I love my girl. It is some women I'll be like, nah, y'all get the fuck away from me because I'm not gonna make that mistake.
yeah.
Like 100%.
Right.
I gotta keep it a beam with y'all. Some men, especially when you get older, you understand like, nah, because temptation always comes around. You gotta, hey man, nah. You talk to her because I'm not about to have no conversation with her because I'm not gonna fall victim to that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it happens all the time. And I ain't got Anthony Edwards money.
Yeah.
But motherfuckers always want to play that game. You got to think, motherfuckers look at a nigga that's doing something for somebody else, they gonna want a part of it. It is what it is. And if women don't understand that, man, come on, man. And not even women, if people don't understand that, you're out of your rabbit ass mind.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's like I said, it sucks for the baby. That's the only person I'm caring about because it's just messed up for the baby. Because the baby does deserve to have both parents, But
That
yeah.
baby gonna get, I can guarantee you that baby gonna get both parents. It ain't gonna be when she want it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you gotta understand that again, this is a 36-year-old woman or 30 plus, whatever,
Hmm.
and a 23-year-old man.
Yeah.
Let him grow up for your mind doesn't even solidify. And you can Google this until you're around 25 to 28 years old. So basically, this nigga got 5 years to get his life right.
Yeah.
At the same time, he got 5 years to get his life right. This nigga's a multi-millionaire.
You're right. Right. So yeah. So that's Anthony Edwards. So now our last story is Billboard. We've talked about Billboard in their list a few times on this show. So they did come out with another list and they have ranked the top 25 female rappers. So I'm gonna go through this real quickly. Number one is Nicki Minaj, two Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, Little Kim, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, Roxanne Shante, Eve, Foxy Brown, Cardi B, Da Brat, Trina, Left Eye, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Rhapsody, Remy Ma, Lotto, Lonnie Love, Glorilla, Lady of Rage, Gangsta Boo, Doechii, and Tierra Whack. Um, what they looked at was impact, sales, hits, and influence. So, judging by those four criterias, what do you think about this list?
Um, you know what? The only thing I would say about this list
Hmm.
is it should have been Cardi B should not be ahead of any veterans. And the only reason why I say that is because um as phenomenal as Cardi B's album was, Cardi B wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for all of the others. So she shouldn't have been ahead of any of our like pioneer female rap artists.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have put Cardi B on the list, period. But when you talk about influence and sales, I get it. What I'm kind of like about is Left Eye. Because Left Eye as a solo artist didn't sell. It was Left Eye as part of a R&B group.
I mean, and I get that, but at the same time, I'll say this: uh, I wouldn't have put her as high. I honestly say that I wouldn't put her as high, but I would put her up there, just
Hmm.
because it's not a lot of female rap artists. You know,
Mm,
as far as a Billboard is concerned, because it's all about Billboard. Because it's a
yeah.
bunch of people just gonna tell you, wah wah wah, this motherfucking Harriet the Truth is hard, and be like, nigga, I ain't never heard of Harriet the Truth. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Harriet the Truth, can you name one Rhapsody song?
No,
Can you name one Tierra Whack song?
so my thing with that was I'm like, who the fuck is Tierra Whack?
Oh, you don't know who Tierra Whack is?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Um, I can't name a song. However, I do know who Tierra Whack is, and but I know her from like years ago because I remember when Meek Mill shouted her out, and that's what made me look into her. And I may have some shit on my phone from her, but she's dope. However, I can't name a song. Outside of Afro Puffs, can you name one Lady of Rage song?
No,
Um, can you name a Doechii song from before 2024?
of course not, because I didn't know about her until that.
Yeah. So, who else? Yeah. So, what did I say this was off of?
Billboard.
Sales. No, I know that part, but sales, influence. Hold on, let me go back to it. Sales, influence, hits, and impact. I feel like they got number one and number two right for sure. You can't argue Nicki Minaj and Missy Elliott.
Those two I thought was really dope.
Mhm.
If we're gonna go off impact, I feel like Roxanne Shante should have got a higher marking, just because Roxanne Shante is the fucking mother of this.
Yeah. She got number 8. I'm not mad at her for being number 8 because again, it's impact, sales, influence, and whatever the fourth one was. I
Yeah,
said
I really think Roxanne Shante should be top
hits.
five.
See, it's impact, sales, hits, influence.
So
So
if we're gonna do impact, sales, and influence, I would still have her at number 5 because she started this.
Mm. We have Queen Latifah at number 5 and MC Light at number 6. I would definitely have both of those before Roxanne Shante and Salt and Pepper. Now, what
I would not have them. I would not have them above them. Like if
I
because
would definitely have Salt and Pepper before Roxanne Shante.
because you can't do that if because she crawled so they can run.
We're not going in chronological order though.
I ain't saying chronological order. I'm saying
But
on the
that
impact
is
of
chronological order. If you talking about her crawling before they walk, that's chronological order.
I'm saying off the flip, she's got to be for me. She's got to be top 5. Like she's got to be the 5th. Just because off the flip, nobody will be doing anything if it wasn't for Roxanne Shante.
I get that, and I'm not mad at her at number 8. But when we're talking about impact, sales, hits, and influence, she doesn't have sales and influence, and she has one hit, maybe 2.
She has superior influence because she wouldn't do it without. They wouldn't be doing it without her. Plus, and the same token of me saying that, she made it cool. She started dissing
That's
niggas.
the impact. I will argue that's the impact over influence.
Okay, I'm not gonna
Mm.
argue with you with it, but I'll just say impact, influence. Dude, she started it. I'm not saying she's number 1. Of course, she's not number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying if she's not top 5, it's something wrong because
Okay, so let's look at top 5. Top 5 is Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, Little Kim, Queen Latifah. Who would you take out of that top 5 to put Roxanne Shante there?
Queen Latifah.
Shut the entire hell up. How the hell you gonna take Queen Latifah out of top 5?
And the reason why I'm taking Queen Latifah out of top 5 for Roxanne Shante is because we wouldn't have Queen Latifah if it wasn't for Roxanne Shante.
So you doing that chronological shit? Like, no.
You talking impact, you talking influence. Like I get,
She's not all
sales.
4.
I get sales. I get all that. Like the ones that are 1, 2, 3, yeah, their sales are out the roof. But sales have to. When we get into that, sales to even start this shit. If Roxanne Shante ain't top 5 because she started it, is crazy to me.
Mm-mm. She's not. She's not.
Because she's the reason why everybody is doing it now.
That's her impact. That's why she's top 10.
She's top
But
5.
she's not. She's not all 4. She's not impact, sales, hits, influence. She's not. She's not. Sing the
Who
Roxanne.
was
Sing Roxanne's Revenge right
who
now.
was
Sing
nah?
it.
I ain't even because you gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you what female artist was making music when the Furious 5 was popping.
I don't know.
Exactly. So
What does that have to
why
do with
are
what
we
I'm
not
saying? Though?
why are we not putting her in top 5? Because she was the one that was pushing that shit.
She's not all. What the criteria is: impact, sales, hits, influence.
Who was selling? What female was selling before Roxanne Shante?
I don't know.
None.
Yeah. But just because they weren't doing it before her doesn't mean that she's going to fit all 4 criterias. That just because she was first doesn't mean she's the best.
I didn't put her as the best, but not putting her in the
But
top 5
I would not
is
put her in top.
disrespectful.
I'm not moving nobody that's on their top 5 for Roxanne Shante. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The impact, the influence, the sales, the hits. All 5 of them got that. All 5 of them got that.
And I 100% agree with you. But at the
And
same
they're
time,
running laps around Shantae, Roxanne Shantae. I'm sorry. It's what it is. It's what it is.
nah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now, what I will argue is the brat. The brat is at number 12. I think that's mad disrespectful.
I don't.
I think it's mad disrespectful because she had the impact, the sales, the hits, the influence. She had all 4 of them. Has all 4 of them. And she was the first, if we're gonna talk about first, and doing it before in chronological order, she was the first woman to go platinum. So to have her up under Cardi B is blasphemous.
Now, again, Cardi B should not be on in anybody's top fucking 10, 20, anything. Um, and that's just my opinion.
Well, she's not top 10, she's 11.
Again, like I said, top 10,
Mhm.
20, whatever. Like Cardi B should not be in that scenario.
No.
I believe that Cardi B should be in if we're gonna do 50, yeah, because it's not that many artists.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
but for her to be above like Foxy Brown is fucking ridiculous to me.
no, she's not above Foxy Brown.
Oh, she's not.
Foxy
Okay, cool.
Foxy Brown is 10 and Cardi B is 11.
Okay.
Excuse me. Now who she is above, which I feel is disrespectful as well, is Trina. Trina is 13. So she's right up under the brat. So I feel like that's disrespectful. I don't think, I mean, I get Cardi B being on the list because she has the hits, she has the sales, she has the influence.
100%, but she is way down there.
She's way down. Right. I would put Megan Thee Stallion higher than her, because Megan Thee Stallion's number 15.
Yeah, I was about to say she's 15. Um, I would put Megan Thee Stallion. I would put Megan Thee Stallion. Maybe, and that's a big maybe. I would put Megan Thee Stallion maybe at if whoever we're talking about, because I'm still keeping Roxanne Shante at 5.
Okay.
Um, that's just me. But
So what you put Queen Latifah?
I would put Queen Latifah at 6.
Okay.
I would put Latifah at 6. MC Light definitely is 7. But I would put I would put Megan Thee Stallion at probably 12. I wouldn't put her in top 10.
Okay. Okay.
But I would put her at 12 just because Megan Thee Stallion, for the most part, she tries to be impactful.
Yeah. What about Eve? Eve is 9.
Do I want to give it to Eve at 9?
I would say Eve is definitely making the list, but at
I don't
9, no.
I don't think I would give her 9.
I
You
wouldn't I
know,
wouldn't give her top 10 at all. I don't even know if I give her top 15. I'm honestly not that big of an Eve fan. I never have been.
the I was about to say to keep it a total being as 9. Eve. Eve's a dope artist.
Yeah.
Um, I would put Eve probably at the 15 spot where Megan has.
Okay.
I would put her there.
Okay. So let's go back to this Trina. Trina's extremely impactful, but she's regionally impactful.
And see that was my thing. It's like regionally, yeah, but
And she,
worldwide status, Trina ain't that.
yeah, and she's both impactful and influential, but it's regional because like if you get in front of a black person from Miami, they gonna quote you every word to every song on a Trina album. However, if you get in front of somebody from Michigan, they maybe know Nan nigga. Like so, and possibly baddest bitch, you know. So it's very regional with her, but I've seen it. Her impact was humongous.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah,
I'm not gonna act like Trina didn't push numbers.
yeah, and I mean, and she got a lot of sons out here. Like the city girl culture, those are her sons. You know what I'm saying? She got a lot of sons out here. So, um, now does
Even
now
getting into it.
is that a negative that it's regional?
No, that's not a negative. That's just it just is what it is, and she made great money doing it.
Hmm.
Um, but her music only made significance for um the women in that region. And that's and I was about to highlight that on that where um you got Little Kim. Little Kim is for me. I feel like Little Kim is where she needs to be because for Lil Kim was way more lyrical than people give her credit for.
Yeah,
They only Lil Kim when it comes to when it comes to like horror bars, and that's the thing. If y'all don't believe that, that's the thing. They really only want to give Lil Kim credit for horror bars, but Kim got real bars.
she got real bars. Like the Naked Truth, that album got 5 mics.
Yeah, listen,
And there's a reason why that album got 5 mics. It ain't because of the horror bars. Okay, like she is extremely lyrical. And the most lyrical she gets are the songs where she's not on that horror shit. That's the crazy part about it. And she don't get the credit that she deserves for that. She gets a lot of credit. And she was very she's still to this day, damn near 30 years in the game, if not already 30 years in the game. She's extremely to this day influential.
listen. I tell anybody for the death of me, um, that DJ Clue album where she did China Dolls, the best bars you will ever hear from anybody ever. I've never. I will. I will stand on. Nobody had the best bars in that genre than her and those bars alone.
Yeah. Look, you can just go to All About the Benjamins. She had the best verse.
She had the best verse,
She had the best verse.
but I tell
And
oh
Biggie was
shit.
on that motherfucker. Like, she had the best verse on that song.
I tell
All
people
of the locks was on that motherfucker, and she had the best verse.
listen. She again. I'ma always say the best bar she has ever created was on China Dolls, DJ Clue.
Hmm.
That solidified her for me as one of the best MCs we had at that time.
Yeah.
And so nobody can ever change that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, she said some shit like, hold on, let me get this right. Hold on, let me get my light right because it done went out.
Hmm.
But all right, fuck it with the light. She had bars like this. Bitches want to front on me, but know not to come to me. I keep 10 Glocks, 10 rocks right in front of me, like I'm saying something, like I'm spraying something. I get my bark on like I'm DMX or something. Like for a woman to come out off the flip on a track like that, I was like, oh nah, she is the only person that ever topped that over was Nicki Minaj with Monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she was able to hold her own with a bunch of men who were the best
Yeah.
at the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Only female in my crew. And I kick shit like a nigga do. Pull the trigger too. Fuck you. Like
Yeah, this bitch is amazing.
yeah. Yeah. So um one person I can argue should not be on the list because they don't fit none of the 4 criteria. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Is Remy Ma.
I didn't understand why Remy Ma was up there, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with people.
Remy Ma should not have been on this list at all. Like, yes, she can rap. There's a lot of people that can rap that don't make top 25. Remy, like, outside of Lean Back and Money Showers, name a Remy Ma song.
Ain't nobody gonna do that because can't
Right,
nobody do
right. That ain't Sheether,
that.
which was whack. I didn't like Sheether. So, yeah, like, what are we doing by putting Remy Ma on this list? What are we doing?
They just want
Um,
that because it's not many female artists.
yeah, it's a lot of female artists now. Do we know who they are? No, but it's a lot of female artists.
So the thing is, we're still talking Billboard, so you have to hit the Billboard first
Yeah,
because
right.
I can say a lot of
But
things
Remy,
like
Remy don't have none of that by herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I mean, you can make the same argument for Left Eye. Left Eye don't have that by herself.
exactly. That's why I was
You
about to
know?
say you can say a lot, but it's all about Billboard and what
Yeah.
Billboard has on it.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, case in point, if you think about it, for me, because I listen to underground music, I'm one of them people to be like, it's a farce for not having Snow the Product on that list. But Snow the Product doesn't have anything that's on Billboard. So I can't
Right.
argue with
Right. Right. She's none of the 4.
it.
Um,
Exactly.
Another one that we like. Same thing with Left Eye. Kinda, sorta, but not really. Because we can name at least one song that was a hit from her by herself, and that's Gangsta Boo.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, like Gangsta Boo deserved to be on the list. I didn't.
Why
I
does
didn't.
Gangster Boo? Why does Gangster Boo deserve to be on the list?
Gangsta Boo deserves to be on the list. One is because Gangsta Boo was one of them that with her team, she was always phenomenal, and then she actually, you know what I'm saying. When she did an album, she was lyrical. She had an impact in Memphis because we're talking again. You said regional shit with
Yeah,
Trina. She was
but
impactful in Memphis.
but this is the thing though. Did she have the Billboard hits? Because Trina, yes, she was extremely influential and impactful regionally, but she had the sales and the hits on Billboard. Now, Gangsta Boo was extremely impactful and influential regionally, but she had one hit by herself.
She had one hit by herself. She had multiple with 3 6 Mafia.
Right. That's with a group,
But still,
which is the same argument that we were making about Left Eye, or at least I was.
I was about to say that's what you
Yeah.
were saying.
Right.
What
But
I'm
yeah,
saying is we're gonna put that in the category. Gangsta Boo definitely deserves to be on the list.
I don't know, and I'm not saying, and there's no downplay to Gangsta Boo because I like Gangsta Boo. I even liked her stuff before she passed. You know what I'm saying? Like I was playing that shit too. You know what I mean? But I don't know about that as far as her being on the list. Now, Same thing with Lady of Rage. Like, yes, Rough and Stuff with My Afro Puff was a huge hit. But did she even come out with an album?
I wouldn't have gave her. I would have. She would have been somewhere in between the between maybe 22 and 25, and that's only because she did hit the Billboard.
Now
It's
she's
like,
at 22.
yeah, like so.
But Gangster Boo's at 23. And to be
To
for
be
real,
fair, Gangsta Boo should have been higher.
Gangsta Boo should have been above Lady of Rage. If we gonna be for real, Gangsta Boo is more lyrical than Lady of Rage.
I'll give you that. I'll 100% give you that.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember that song, what's it? And when I die, don't you cry. Just remember me ballin', ballin'. You remember that song?
I don't remember that song.
Okay, you
What
gotta pull it up.
only thing I will say is, Gangsta Boo not only has a billboard of her own, but she has billboards with a group, and then she has billboards with Project Pat.
What songs did she do with Project Pack which they were on the Billboard?
Chicken Head.
That wasn't her.
That wasn't Gangsta Boo.
That was LaChat.
That was Lil Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Lil Chad because Lil Chad's a real tough bitch. Gangsta Boo tried to be pretty and fat.
Well, she wasn't fat back then. Her body was banging back then.
You could say that, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Dude, her body was banging back then. Like, go back and look at Where the Dollars At video.
Nope, y'all tried it. I'm gonna tell you just like I told my brother. Y'all tried it. Nah, nah, she wouldn't. She wasn't that for me.
I mean, the face wasn't facing.
Nah, the body wasn't even that for me. The body was average at best, and it was kind of. She was a cheeseburger away from being kind of sloppy.
She was not. Oh my god! Now I'm gonna have to pull it up because
Pull
she
it
was
up.
not during the end. Now when she did verses, she was maybe like 2 cheeseburgers away, but not during
Nope.
Where the
Pull
Dollars
it up and let the audience see.
Hold on. Where the dollars at, nigga? Where the dollars at? I'm chilling heavy. Understand me, baby. This is a boo.
Me and my brother just. I ain't gonna say we just had this, but we had this conversation maybe about a year ago. And he was trying to argue with me up and down, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just tell you how bodies.
I'm about to show you. I'm gonna learn you. I just pulled up.
You learn me, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did to my brother.
I'm about to pull up. This is the opening scene from Where the Dollars At. Let me send it to my iPad. Okay. Shoot. All right. So, cause you trying to play.
I ain't trying to play nothing.
Boom.
Jasmine all time always tells me like your body ain't right enough for you to be saying that, and I'm like, nah, I'm just keeping it 100.
Now you trying to tell me that she don't look good right there?
You trying to tell me that at that time, same thing I told my brother at that time, that that muscular ass lady was a sexy body to y'all.
Back then, yes.
No, it was not.
And she just had a little definition in her arm. She wasn't that muscular.
That bitch looked like she would punch you in the motherfucking mouth and knock you clear the fuck out. Nobody was. Again, I'm not saying that she didn't go through a transformation. What I'm saying is that wasn't sexy back then. Nobody was. That's why they had that weird ass white bitch right there.
That's not the weird ass white bitch. That's Ronnie from the Players Club. Oh my god.
Whatever it is, what I'm saying is the reason why they had her there is because that's not attractive to everybody.
Lord have
This is
mercy.
the same conversation I had with my brother. That's not attractive to everybody.
No, that ain't why they had her there. They had her there because it was a little skit at the beginning of the video. And Players Club was a big deal back then, so having her in the video was huge.
Okay, cool. What I'm saying is, aesthetically wise, they're going to always go on this side, then they go on that side. She doesn't aesthetically look. Now, fast forward 2025, yes, most people are more athletic. They're trying to do what they need to do. They're taking ashwagandha. So everybody is, you know what I'm saying, trying their best to be on some shit. But I'm telling you, back then, she never was the person that everybody wanted.
No,
Not
I didn't say that. I didn't say that she was. I didn't say
It
that
was
she was
it was
all that.
nobody like Gangsta Boo fine as a motherfucker. No.
I never claimed that. I never claimed that. Because I said the face wasn't facing. But she had a nice body on her. Like you gotta give her that, man. You gotta give her that.
I'm not. I will give her that now.
Well, now, rest in peace. But
Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo.
yeah,
Now, somebody be like, "Oh no, she banging." I would even say it, but back then, nah. This cocky ass bitch. Didn't nobody want man. Okay,
whatever.
this is what it is. Man, I swear to God, man. I'm like, I had this conversation with my bro, and like he was doing the same shit, and I'm like, no, wasn't nobody checking for that shit.
Yeah, I don't think nobody was sitting up there trying to make an argument about her being sexier than anybody else. But like, yeah, her body was there. Her body was bodying. Now, yeah, Glorilla. They have Glorilla at 21, right up under Moni Love. What do you think about those two?
I think Moni Love should be in your top 15. I think
Name two
Glorilla.
Moni Love songs that are not Moni in the middle.
Well, I'm not gonna do that then.
I refuse. You're not gonna get me in that trick bag. Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, yeah, like, I'm not doing that. You just negated what the fuck I was gonna do. Stop the cap, nigga. Stop the fucking cap. I'm not. If you do that, then what am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to give me two names.
I'm not. One, I wasn't in a generation that was really rocking with Moni like that. Two,
Don't matter.
I'm just an individual that didn't listen to female rappers like that until they start being really, really more lyrical.
Okay, all right. Whatever.
You know,
That's it.
I can name you more I can name you more Lil Kim songs than I can name you anybody else. I can
I
name
can
you
name
more
you more
Nicki
Nicki
Minaj
songs.
songs than anybody else.
I can name you more Nicki. I can name you yeah. Out of everybody, Nicki and the Brat.
I can name you more Brat songs than I can do Moni Love. But I
I
do
could just
believe
give you
Moni
Money in
Love
the
still
Middle.
should be in the top at least top 15.
Yeah. I can only name you Money in the Middle. That's it. That's it and that's all. Yeah. I
Because
mean, the
my
conversation
thing
is
about that
there.
is being impactful.
Yeah.
Impactful.
I think that's how
Means that
they got on the list.
means that you are setting the stage for everybody else to rock.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
And I think that's how they even got on the list in the first place because the sales and the hits aren't there. Like, no shade, but they're not.
well, the hit is there.
Hit singular, but they got
Yeah.
hits
So
plural.
you got to understand, like when we're getting to the Billboard talk of this, it should not be how many multiple hits. It's the fact that they had a hit on the Billboard and where that hit went. Because some individuals, that hit could have went 35, and then like case in point, Cardi B. Some of her songs, yeah, the majority of her songs hit the Billboard, but
Yeah.
um, some of those songs only hit to a certain level. We're
Yeah.
talking about billboards that hit top five,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But
When
I
you
feel like
talk
with
about
Cardi B though, yes, you what all that you just said about her is true. However, what also needs to be said is that Bodak Yellow was so big, so much of a big hit that it surpassed the record that Lauryn Hill set.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So that has to be said. So I understand Cardi B being on the list. I get it. Where she's at on the list is where I have the problem. But but like under the criteria, I get it. I
and I
can't
agree.
argue with it.
And so this is the thing that I'm saying. When we get into these levels, when you get to people who their hit, even if it's just one hit, if it's a past where certain people's hits was, this is what I'm saying. Then they need to be pushed a little bit higher. That's my whole thing because we're talking about the Billboard here.
Yeah.
So you can't have nobody that peaked at 20 when somebody that just had one hit peaked at 11. That means that their hit and their impact was more than the individual that went to 20.
Yeah, but if that one person that went to 11 only got that one hit, then I don't think that we should be talking about that person in the hits conversation,
But
whether they
where did
went
the
number
rest of
one
your
or not.
hits go? Because if you got a hit that went to, say for instance, you got a hit that went to 9, and then this person got a hit that went to 10, and then they got another hit that went to 35, and then they got a hit that went to 42. They're still not beating your 9.
They're still not beating your 9, but it's a hits conversation. So you might get that number 1. But if everything else is duds after that, why are we talking about you in the hits conversation?
And I agree. But
That's my point.
okay, so case in point of Roxanne Shante, why I want to put her up there is because she only wanted one hit. And her
Whether
one
she
hit.
wanted it or not, like that's besides the point.
Hold on. Time out though. Listen to
Mhm.
what I'm saying. She didn't do anything else. She still was the influence. And what she did was when she signed her deal to do something completely different. She signed her deal to go to college.
Right.
It's a whole different ball game with her because of how they were playing back then. So if you don't think that she's influential, then you're totally out of bias on that because what she had a real Billboard hit that shocked the world, and when she signed the deal, it was to guarantee that she went to school, so she didn't have to do anything else. So as far as her impact was, she was again, she was not only the first, she was the first to say, take this money and do something else with it. That's impactful.
So much so that nobody's done it after.
Whose fault is that?
It doesn't matter whose fault it is. But we haven't even heard of conversations where people tried to do it after. So where's the impact in regards to that specifically?
The impact with that is she was the first, and she actually did something outside of it. She actually she was the first female artist, let's put that in perspective. First female artist, and then not only was you
She
the
wasn't
first
the first
female.
female. She
Well,
wasn't the first.
okay, yeah. Let me take that back. But as far as rapping is concerned, she was the first to do that. She was the first to set a contract up where she will always be cool, and she is, know what I'm saying? She it paid for college, and she was a kid. Like she was more impactful than a lot of people, strictly because it went beyond what rap is. At the end of the day, we have to think about sometimes. I ain't even gonna say sometimes. For the majority of it, everybody has to go outside of rapping. And unless you are like Jay-Z, or anybody else like or Nas or somebody like that, for Roxanne Shante to do what she did, you have to respect that. Or if you even talk about Queen Latifah, think about it. Roxanne Shante started the revolution for females to not only be a staple in hip hop, they could move outside of it. She started businesses and did all that. She was the fundamental part of that shit.
Okay.
So you just gonna look at me like, all right, whatever. Like,
No, because you're starting to sound like Nori.
I am not. You are never gonna nori me. You will never nori me. I'm saying it. I keep saying the same thing over and over again because I want y'all to understand. You would never know. And even if you did nori me, that's fine. Give me nori views. Still, the same thing applies. Like, dude, she started this shit.
Right. Right. We just gonna have to agree to disagree in regards to Roxanne Shante.
Yeah, like, why would you not put her into your top 5?
Because there's more people that have more hits, have more sales, have more influence, and have more impact. And I'm not mad at the top 5. I'm not.
What
Nicki,
was
Missy, Lauren, Little Kim, and Queen. Like, I'm not mad at that.
where would Queen Latifah be if it wasn't for Roxanne Shante?
Where would they be if it wasn't for their mama? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, just because somebody came before them, it doesn't necessarily mean that they should just automatically be rewarded with the top spot. If that was the case, then this whole list would have to be rearranged. But that ain't the case. That being first is not one of the criteria that they went off of. It's not.
Again, I keep saying impactful. My lead is impactful.
Yeah, but you have to be more than just impactful. It's 4 things, not just an emphasis on one. It's 4. Or do you got it for all 4? That's the reason why Nicki Minaj is number 1, because she got it hands down without a shadow of a doubt for all 4 criterias.
100%. And where would she be without Roxanne Shante?
It don't matter. It don't matter. That's what I'm saying. The chronological order shit don't matter.
If the chronological order was in that thesis that you're saying, that I would put her top in the number 1 spot. I'm not putting her in the number 1 spot.
But you
I'm
trying to put
putting
her
her
in
in the
top
number
5.
5 spot.
You trying to put her in top 5 for somebody that was only in the game for a couple years, had 1 hit and quit. That no.
Because she
It
was
don't matter
hands down.
why, but that's what it is. At the bare bones of it all, she was only in for a couple of years and she quit. She had 1 hit and she quit. Like let's not do this.
Who was we're gonna do this?
Let's not
Who was
do
doing
this.
it? Who was doing it before Roxanne Shante?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
What did she sell?
I don't know.
Again,
I watched the movie, but the movie was a long ass time ago. Like,
in a male-dominated spot, what did she do?
She definitely held her own in that rap beef.
Again,
I give her all that.
All
but
right.
What we're not
So,
gonna do is
and then
act like
what
she
did she
moved
birth?
mountains around this motherfucker.
What did she birth? She birthed everybody that you put before her.
Yes. And they went on to do great and amazing things.
And so put her at number 5.
No. No. I'm okay with Queen Latifah being at number 5 because Queen Latifah is extremely more impactful and influential and had more sales and had more hits.
You got to put an OG in top 5. You got to put an
She's an OG. She's an OG.
You got to put an OG in top 5.
Queen
and if you don't put the original
Latifah
OG in top 5, you're tripping.
Queen Latifah is a good enough OG for me.
Nah.
Queen Latifah is a good enough OG for me.
No. And I'm pretty sure Queen Latifah will tell you that
she will be being humble if she didn't think that she should be in top 5. Because
she'll want to be in top 5. But if you're going to put it in the category of that, like you got to put her in top 5 as far as everything that you said, impactful, all that sales, and just because she was the first, and she was one of the first, that skyrocketed.
Dude.
Yeah,
Queen Latifah had Ladies First. Queen Latifah had UNITY. Queen Latifah had Just Another Day, Living in the Hood, Just Another Day Around the Way. Feeling good today. That's top 3. That's 3 songs right there. Just off the top. Just off the top. Listen, right there. Just right there.
You gonna say all that, nigga? I will take that, and I will say at the same time that you say that, that Queen Latifah was an amazing artist, and still is an amazing artist. I will always still put Roxanne Shante at top 5. 5.
All right. Roxanne Shante had Roxanne's Revenge. Roxanne's Revenge, the remix. Roxanne's Revenge instrumental.
Now you're going to Soulja Boy Roxanne Shante. You're going to Soulja Boy Roxanne Shante.
She made it clap, clap, clap. She made
Because you think I'm downplaying Queen Latifah, but at the same time that we're having this argument, it's like, no, because I'm still at the same time, I still like, as much as everybody loves Queen Latifah, I love MC Lyte more.
I give you that.
But I would still put Queen Latifah above MC Lyte.
And I watched the Breakfast Club talk about this, and they were saying MC Lyte should have been in top 5.
And at some point I can agree with to that.
I'm not like if somebody came with the argument for MC Lyte to be in top 5, I'm not mad at that.
I agree. That's why I said I can agree with that.
But what we're not going to do is act like Queen Latifah don't deserve top 5. Like, you can make the argument on who's gonna be 5 between MC Lyte and Queen Latifah. You can make that argument, and it will be a great argument. But what we not gonna do is act like Roxanne Shante should be in top 5. Like, nah, I'm not gonna give you that. She got Roxanne's Revenge, the remix, and the instrumental. We're not doing that. No.
I am.
No, because what MC Lyte got? What was that song called? Cha Cha? Then she had Roughneck. Then I Rock the Party That Rocks the Body. That's 3 off the top, right
Georgie
there.
Porgy. Let's not do that.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, I can name 3 off the top. I can
What
name
we
I can name 3 for Queen Latifah. I can name 3 for MC Light. I can't name 3 that don't have her name in the title for Roxanne Shante.
what we going what we not gonna do? What we not gonna do is not act like Roxanne Shante was not the fucking starter.
I'm not saying she wasn't. She was definitely a pioneer. And there's no shade. Don't take this as shade. But if we're going off of the 4 things that they went off of to make this list, no, no, and no. And that's 3 off the top, off the top, off the top. Like, no, we're not doing this. No.
Hit. She got a hit.
She got a hit.
Impactful. She was one of the first.
Yeah. She was one of the pioneers, absolutely.
2 or 3, excuse me. Sales. She sold like a motherfucker. If we going off them 3 alone, why she not in the top 5?
For one song.
For one song.
Hey.
I'm on my Soulja Boy argument.
I can name 3 Soulja Boy songs.
Soulja Boy did this. You seen that nigga play the same song over and over again.
Right. I can name 3 Soulja Boy songs before I can name 3 Roxanne Shante songs.
Because it only took one to touch. It only took one to touch.
I guess.
Let's not do that. Like, listen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not downplaying any other woman that was in this top 25. But
No.
I'm saying, it's just a bad. It's a bad look to not have Roxanne Shante.
Now, Foxy Brown is 10. Do you have any issues with that?
I don't.
I don't either. I'm not mad at Foxy Brown being number 10. About Doja Cat being 16.
I would put Doja Cat lower than that, and the only reason why I would put Doja Cat lower than that is because Doja Cat tries to tell people she's not a rapper. So why would we try to
meanwhile be rapping?
Yeah.
Meanwhile be rapping like a motherfucker.
Meanwhile be rapping like a motherfucker. So I would put her lower than that just because she puts herself lower than that.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. But she definitely has the hits and the influence.
Yeah, like Doja Cat's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Lotto. Lotto is 19. Would you put Lotto on the list?
For Billboard, I guess.
Yeah. Lotto is talented. Lotto is very talented.
Lotto is very talented.
Yeah. I feel like if Lady of Rage, Gangsta Boo, Doechii, Tierra Whack, if all those people can be on this list, Lotto can be on this list.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna that's what I was about to say. I wouldn't put her I wouldn't disrespect her and put her under anybody under 22.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I would agree with that. But yeah, that's the list.
I think Gorilla should have been higher.
Yeah, because Glorilla is 21.
I think Gorilla should have been higher. I think Gorilla should have been at least 17.
Okay. Yeah, I would put her most definitely above Rhapsody. Yeah. But I feel like the problem with Glorilla which is no fault to her own, but I think it's her accent. And people automatically think that people with country accents are stupid.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the only real problem. And it's not even a problem. It's our problem. It's not her problem.
Yeah. That I 100% agree with.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm not a fan of, I get it, but I'm not a fan of, is Salt and Pepper. And I'm not a fan of it because that's a group. And they should have split them up.
I mean,
Let's
yeah,
not, no. Like
yeah.
I get it, they're a package deal,
You
but
know
in the
what?
same breath, it's
I
still
will give you that because they do males and groups that way.
yeah, they split them. Yeah,
They'll put MJG somewhere and then they'll put A Ball somewhere else. So yeah, I give you
same
that.
thing with Outkast.
Yeah.
They'll put Three Stacks number one and put Big Boy number eight, and it's like, what
Which
the
I
fuck are
don't
y'all
like at all.
smoking?
Which
I
I
hate
really
that.
don't like at
I
all.
fucking
If
hate that.
if you're not putting if you're gonna put them in a category, especially with Outkast, and I'm strictly just talking about Outkast, and I tell people all the time, man, don't argue with me, argue with your mama. Um,
Hmm.
if you're gonna put Outkast and put them bar for bar against each other, you got to really understand that Big Boy, if you're gonna put it in the top tier, Big Boy is top tier of a real fucking hip hop artist, and he should never. And that's
1000%.
not downplaying Andre 3000 at all. Andre
Hmm.
3000 is a fucking phenomenal artist. But
Yeah,
if you think Big Boy is not a hip hop connoisseur and top tier, you are out of your fucking mind.
right. It's like, what kind of dope are you smoking?
Yeah, you are out of your fucking mind. If you're gonna say Andre and Big Boy is in the top 10, and then you name 8 other people, I'ma always say Andre, Big Boy, and then Andre 3000. And that's just me. And I'm a Andre 3000 fan. And
Mhm.
I always tell you I listen to more Andre 3000 than Big Boy. But at the same time I say that, um, I really listen to every fucking Outkast album. Um, Andre 3000 became a production genius. Big Boy became a really lyrical artist.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if y'all don't see that, then that's y'all fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all thought one album topped um the things that Big Boy created.
Yeah. It's sickening. It's sickening, and that's another conversation for another day because we're talking about females.
Yeah, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. And that's no downplay, but that is very true. But I'm just saying we can talk about that because I can give you all the best, and then I will
Hmm.
always say like, if you want to go, and then we don't even have to argue about this. We don't even have to have a podcast about this. Truth be told, Andre will tell you that.
Right. Right.
Like
Yeah.
this the whole thing in a nutshell. Andre will tell
Hmm.
you Big Boy's the better artist.
Right.
So
Right.
if he says that, what the fuck am I arguing for?
Right. Right. What am we doing here? Right. So yeah. That is 100% true. But yeah, so that is the top 25 best female artists list according to Billboard. And yeah, I don't have any final thoughts. So Jerry's final thought, take it away.
All right, Jerry's final thoughts. Y'all gonna watch me in this black drop. I don't, but it is what it is. Uh, we have went through some scenarios. We have went through great interviews, which was really amazing interviews. We've talked about someone who, I guess, at this point, took the rails of life. He took that and ran with it, where a lot of people disagree, and then we have situations where a person's get back, everybody is trying to fault. So we have a lot of scenarios in this, but I ain't even gonna talk about none of that. What I'm gonna talk about is growth. In all these scenarios, we understand from the interviews that we have talked about, we seen growth. From the incident between the two women, we seen growth. Even in a level of confrontation, we seen growth. Some people start from a certain level, and then certain people grow from a certain level. And then in situation of the young man who everybody deems is wrong for it. We seen growth of moving past. And that's the thing I want y'all to focus on in my Jerry's final thought is growth. We all gonna start from one place and we're all gonna move to a next. The way you feel today is not always gonna be the way you feel tomorrow. So you gotta look at that and you gotta understand at one point that certain things that may mean a hill of beans to you today might not mean anything to you tomorrow. And when you start realizing that, then you start realizing that the power of moving past things is always better than you always dwelling on it. Because one thing is going to always be guaranteed to you is you're going to find another way and another day to do something better. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
All right. Well, thank you for Jerry's final thought. And that is episode 155 of the Ish We Talk. And we will see you guys for episode 156. Bye.
Exactly.